You know what? I used to be always early.
What happened?
I don't know. But I will tell you this,
properly?
I decided to not drive today.
I didn't even got used.
I know, I know. Wait, was you looking to see who it was?
Yeah, but who's he talking about? I missed it.
I used to be always... Yeah, so boom. I thought, let me leave the whip today. Get on a train. Boom. When I get to flipping Kensal Rise, let me jump on a lime. 2 minutes. When I get there, no limes. I'm saying, hold on a minute. So all these pussy holes now, since the sun's out, now everyone wants a lime. Where was you lot when it was chilly? Do you get what I'm saying? Where were these lot when it was chilly? I was outside when it was chilly, a lie?
So you don't like a summer lime?
Huh?
You don't like the summer limes?
No, so everyone's got a lime now. Everyone's liming.
But some man are summer lime. I'm a summer lime. You don't catch me in a winter lime.
No.
Autumn lime. I'm a summer lime. Not even a spring lime. Summer lime.
Do you know when I saw a lime? I walked. I thought, let me keep walking until I see a lime.
This is why you're my brother.
Yeah, boom.
Come on.
I kept walking until I could see a lime. Do you know where I saw a lime?
Go on.
Outside here.
It's too late.
Outside here.
See, the thing is, yeah.
These lot are doing it when they're not outside when it's chilly. This the guess.
This might be the greatest person on planet Earth. Look, this is what I'm going to say to you though, Chucks, yeah?
Go on.
You clearly are a driver.
I am.
When you are not like a driver like me, you account for things that you're not in control of.
I know.
You have an arrogance that like, oh, my car's going to be there when I leave my house. You treat the lime like it's your car. It's not your car, Chuckie.
Yeah.
It's a lime.
You're right.
And it belongs to everyone.
You're right. But, yeah. There's no excuses, innit? I'm just late again. I was late. I'm turning it around. Can we go outside?
What do you mean?
Like, we need to just go outside now, man.
And do what?
Pod.
I've said this, but I've noticed since your timing has been a little bit off, I believe your focus is not all the way here.
Nah,
so when
man,
that
what are you
situation
talking about?
happened, late every week, yeah, and I'm
not that late. Huh?
No.
It's been a thing for like this part of the year, yeah.
So I just
but I'm like 15 minutes.
But I just think if we're gonna unlock something crazy,
hey,
yes,
yeah, man.
Good to see you.
SLUMFLOWER.
I saw you last
The
Vibra event last. I saw you.
At White City House.
So wait, what? When did you meet each other? What's going on here?
Oh, we should discuss that as well.
Yeah, there's a whole backstory.
Bro,
is there, yeah?
Isn't there?
Yes, I had to humble myself. But we'll get to that.
Oh, I want to hear about this. Yeah?
You're gonna love this story.
Oh,
when
my
I'm
God.
wrong, I always say I'm wrong.
Go on.
But we'll get to that, man. What are we talking for?
Oh, what do you mean? We can't stop? What? Okay, all right, fine. How are you? You all right?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming.
I can't believe
through.
it's my first time meeting you.
I know. Do you know what? I think I've seen you one place before, but we didn't meet though. And this was like a couple of years ago. But it was
like a motive?
Yeah, it was like a motive. There was things going on. You're chatting to people, I'm chatting to people.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Those things are never the place to actually introduce yourself to someone unless there's already been like an online interaction where...
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But we haven't even had any kind of interaction.
Nothing.
Do you know what's so crazy? You know them sort of events they make to actually socialise? Mm-hmm. I think they're the worst places to socialise. Like, you got more chance of getting a conversation out of me at the train station if I saw you than in an event strategically created to talk to each other at train station.
I feel like it's because networking events feel very performative. Like
100%.
You know you're going there because you have to talk to people.
Yeah.
So now you build up this pressure in your mind. Whether it's the pressure of I need to make sure I speak to 5 people and have 5 contact details before I leave, or whether it's that feeling of seeing someone that you low-key admire or you've been wanting to speak to and that's part of why you came to the event, but then you climb up and you feel a bit awkward or you just don't know if it's the right time and then you end up just standing in the corner looking at everyone.
Bro.
And people only talk to people that they already know.
Yeah.
So it's not networking, it's just... I don't know what
to call it.
You're just standing in a place.
And more time, the one thing that you said that was crazy, because I was in studio on Wednesday and my brethren said to me, never meet, I won't say who it is, like, never meet your idols. I was like, what do you mean?
No.
And he went to an event, which was that type of event.
Yeah.
And he's gone up to this artist that we all know. And he's gone, yo. Oh my God, like, I'm a big fan of your work. I've loved you forever. And the guy was just like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. See, I
But at the train station,
Yeah, centre that mic for me, please. Just centre it, just a little bit, please.
Sorry.
I was wondering about the sound. Like, is it going to be?
Yeah.
Am I going to be really quiet?
No, it's for you.
See, this is an interesting thing you said, Poet, about this never meet your idols thing, because I think for me, because I'm a public figure mainly for women,
yeah.
I often have women meeting me, especially at train stations.
My G,
Especially at train stations.
Yeah.
And I think because I've been on the receiving end of that experience where you feel a bit dismissed by someone you admire,
Yeah.
each time I meet a woman who loves my work or comes up to me and says, Slumflower, I've got your book, I bought it for my niece and my auntie, I always make sure to acknowledge them, thank them, ask them their name, and then every other sentence I say their name in the sentence.
Yeah, I try to do
That's
that as
good.
well.
Yeah,
That's
because it
very
makes them
good.
feel acknowledged and valued
Yeah.
in that interaction. I offer them, I say to them, do you have your phone on you? Let's take a picture, because they might feel
A little bit intimidated.
awkward about asking for the picture. They don't know if they're encroaching on my time. So I kind of do the intellectual heavy lifting for them, and I also say to them, please DM me the picture later, just so that we have a little bit of an interaction
I like
later
that, you know.
on.
But don't you because sometimes when these things happen, yeah, see when you can be dismissed or whatnot, sometimes there's just a whole bunch of other things that's going on within their world too,
Yeah,
which is
of
what
course.
happens with you too. It's like you're getting pulled left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's trying to chat to you, and then you might react a certain way to it where you don't
Yeah.
think that you're reacting that way,
Yeah.
and then they receive it that way. So
Yes.
for me, that's why sometimes if that's ever happened in recent time, sometimes I just think it's not actually about me, you know. It might just be about what they've got going on.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
get what I'm saying?
100%.
And the pedestal they've put you on.
True.
Because even the idea of someone being an idol to someone, idol's a big word. So when you meet your idol, you really do hope that they will make you feel really valued, because you idolizing them is you really putting them in this grand high place. And then when that interaction falls flat, there's more room for disappointment, as opposed to someone who, they're not your idol but you admire them,
Right.
and you meet them. Even if you had that same interaction where you felt a little bit dismissed, you won't be as like
Yeah.
personally taken aback by it. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing where this conversation has many moving parts, where it's like the question of idolizing people and us managing our own expectations as fans in the age of social media, where now we have more access than ever to celebrities' lives and livelihoods. So with all the information we have access to, we kind of have a responsibility on our own part as fans to maybe manage the way that we pedestalize stars. For example, what you were saying about if they're having a bit of an off day. Because sometimes I have an off day and someone will come and tell me about how they had this intense situation, just a lot of like dumping, and
Yeah, for
they
sure.
really want an answer to a very complicated situation, and I can't give them what they need in that moment. And because I know that I can't give them what they need in that moment, I feel a bit drained because I'm overperforming to try
Yeah, I hear
and
that
condense what they
loudly.
need.
I hear that loud.
Fam. But then also I
That
feel
was
like
real. Fam. That was too real.
Yeah, yeah.
but then I also feel like I'm anticipating this moment later down the line where that person will come back years later when something happens on the internet and people are talking bad about me, and that person will be like, yeah,
when I saw her, she
she didn't listen to me when I was telling her about how I had this traumatic situation. She didn't give me the advice I needed, and she's a bitch in real life. Did you know that? Like, I feel like when you're someone that's idolized, people are waiting to say that you're a bitch or that you're ungrateful or that you think you're better than people.
Yeah.
So you're kind of constantly in this state of customer service in a way.
Yeah.
You got to change it. I'll show you how I changed it on Hcpod. It was amazing. I told everybody, just because I'm alive and you're alive, it doesn't mean you can walk up to me and tell me. That's not how this works.
What?
It doesn't mean you can tell me. I'm here, hey. I'm not in none of that. I'm a
Right.
human being, and to approach me, there's a level of respect as a man that I would like, and then we can chat about anything you want. But you see this sort
The
of
approach has to be proper.
come on, man, or approach me. Oh, Wagwan, big man, put the camera down. Don't
Yeah.
tell me Wagwan, because I don't know you like that.
Yeah.
How are you, man? What are you doing today? Sun's out, nice. Let's have a normal conversation. I get that you've watched online and
Yeah.
you've seen all of that. I understand all of that, but you know what? I weren't there.
But Poet, it's so
want
different
it.
because you're a man though.
Okay, fair. Do you know what?
know what I mean?
I can't talk
I
from
was
that
at
perspective.
carnival with him and Danae, and it was just, it was madness. It's
mad.
It's
Well, people
literally
just,
every
but that's like
1
the worst
minute.
place for you, I can imagine.
But I don't mind
Carnival
carnival.
One minute, I'm
Carnival
not
is
even
mental.
joking.
But I don't mind
Yeah.
that though, because we're drunk. It's
People
like
must
I
be
can
like-
make sense of
I
that.
feel like I have to.
catapulting wines at you.
Huh?
People must be catapulting wines at you.
Yeah, just.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like as a
Give
public
explicit
offering,
stuff.
like almost like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's the place where I imagine the majority of people who love you, like carnival is kind of like that meeting point.
Right.
Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like an intersex of interests.
Yeah.
So I just imagine that you'll be inundated with wine. So you
But I
have
don't
to
mind
form
that.
a bound.
What do you mean carnival's the man? It's the people them. I love all of that. You do what you want. But when I come out of the man, people them arting, and then it's interactions with people that only know my team from watching it, but outside of that, they have no understanding of it.
Yeah.
We gotta talk differently. Don't say wagwan. You don't say that anywhere else in your life, but you saw me and say wagwan.
Now that's crazy.
You might as well said Bob Marley as well. Big man, just say hello. I say
Yeah.
hello. We chat. We keep it pattern.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I love carnival, for that reason, but also carnival makes me tired for that reason.
Yeah, there's like a
I
draining.
am absolutely, completely shattered after it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's not just the drinking and all of that.
Yeah.
It's the energy exchanges. And even part of like what you said, sometimes people use these interesting moments for a big elaborate answer for something.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? There are bare people around and then like next minute a man might say, so Chucks, see this Palestine thing, yeah? I'm like, you know
Right.
what? I'm like, you know what, yeah? Like, obviously, I want to talk about it, but obviously it's carnival, and now I feel bad because I'm at carnival and this is
And
happening.
you can't honour the conversation in the way it deserves to be honoured.
Yeah.
Like, Palestine is a
That's
conversation
true.
that's layered, and it deserves a moment where we can actually accommodate it the space it needs, where we can actually fully talk about why Palestine deserves to be free, as opposed to carnival by a loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Like, people struggle to read the room, and I feel like that's what sometimes makes things feel a bit draining, because you're also worrying about coming across like a prick.
Yeah.
But it's mad though, because I always talk about these things because I just genuinely don't like it. And do you know what, me, I have one life to live. I can't live it by anybody else's standards. And I always say, don't build up a story in your mind about what you're gonna do when you meet that somebody, because they don't know.
No.
So when you come up
And
to
you
me,
don't even really know either. And this
That's true as well.
Sometimes as well, I think that when a situation might feel a bit awkward in their mind, they then sometimes have this verbal diarrhea where they end up saying something so mad. And you're like, depending on the person that you're talking to, because if you do that with me, I will just make it weird. If you come to me and you say something weird or strange, or you think that you can say something about one of my brethren that's been on the thing, like, I'm just gonna make this whole thing so weird.
I'm on that.
You're
I'm on that
not
vibe.
allowed. You don't like. You can't just come and think, because you might check for me that you could just say this about that or this about.
Yes.
No, I'll make this whole thing mad weird now.
I do the same thing to men. So when I'm at motives or events, and it's mainly black men that come up to me, you really not going to say, so SLUMFLOWER, do you really hate men? I was like, do you know what? This is not the right time to have this conversation. And just
Right.
for saying that, I'm very put off. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here. And I just walk off. So now I've made it awkward because you've made it awkward. And I'm not going to be giving you a justification of my praxis because you've come up to me and you've seen me on Twitter, and now is your opportunity. And you think that in the odd chance you get the opportunity to be in the same room as me, you think the best thing and the most poignant thing you could ask me is that question. So you didn't even think ahead about, I might be in a room with SLUMFLOWER one day. I wonder what I'm going to say to her. Because a lot of these men, they have like a confused and complicated relationship with me where they kind of admire me, kind of are attracted to me, but they resent the fact that I think the way I do.
Right.
And they think that in that moment when they see me, they believe they can argue me out of my mindset.
That's
which is
mad.
very-
So let me because I wanted to ask you this as well. Yeah. See, when you go outside, do you get challenged a lot?
That's a good question. The reason why I'm going to say no, I don't get challenged a lot is because most times a lot of people see me, I can tell that they've clocked that it's me, like the girl from Twitter or the girl from wherever they remember me from, but they don't actually approach me. The people that approach me mainly is women, and normally they will say something that's based around admiration. But in terms of men challenging me, it's just a tricky line to walk because they already know that I enjoy humiliating men, so they wouldn't really so they wouldn't put themselves in that position, because that's just like walking into the trap on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they kind of just like, I just see the body language from afar.
Yeah.
People are braver online though, aren't they?
Oh
Yeah, they
yeah,
are.
that's why I was saying to Poet that I'm actually surprised that I mean, a lot of people are going to be very surprised to see me on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, are you guys going to lose, like, I don't know, Mandem gummy bear points for me coming on this podcast?
What?
Because
No.
I'm common enemy. Listen,
No, man.
in the Twitter sphere, I don't know if I feel like we're veterans now. In the old age of Black Twitter, for those who remember Black Twitter, like the origins of Black Twitter, like I was one of the main mortal enemies of many people for obvious reasons. And I feel like some people probably still carry that perception of me based on what the other man them have decided is the perception of me, because men tend to think in that way where they...
It's true. They're very like group.
So like if someone
orientated.
like you is seen with me, that will change their mind on me, if that makes sense. Because... But it's not because they've done any critical thinking though.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Seen, do you get what I'm saying?
But do you know what it is though? Like I don't have the expectancy that everybody is like me. I'm not saying that we all do, but there is an entry point to change. Mm-hmm. And however you get, like fam, I wanted to get into a dance. I didn't care if I climbed through the window. Just get me in the dance and we can move from there. So if I can get some of these guys to change their thinking based upon just me sitting next to you, then eventually they're going to question why they've changed their thinking. And then it's up to them. And I'm not saying if 10 people do it, we're going to solve all 10. We might solve 2, but at least that's 2 more than yesterday.
Because my intention being here isn't to change anyone's mind. My intention here is to have a kiki.
This is what I'm saying. Anyway, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying anyway. Here's what I'm saying.
That was too cool.
Even with that, it's like, for me...
You got it!
Oh, nice.
No, I got the... Come on, man. Vehicle. Everybody...
What's that there?
You see this chocolate?
Biscoff and dairy milk.
It's a new thing. I like Biscoff anything.
See, I really want to eat this, but then I feel like I'm going to be clearing my throat every 2 minutes.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Because when you have sugar, did you know that? Yeah. When you have sugar, something that has sugar, it creates mucus in your throat, so you're going to be like...
Is it?
Yeah!
Big man is worth the muke.
Oh my god. So you're going to have to do a little ASMR, like, clearing throat mucus segment then, because you're going to have a lot of...
Serious?
Yeah!
That's crazy.
You know, I'm a sweet guy, you know. I'm one of the mucus always been there. Come on, man. Sorry.
Oh, yes, I've got water. Actually, maybe I got water, so...
There you're good. You're good. But anyway, what I was going to say, the changing mind thing, I'm never really on that. I'm just on having a conversation. Yeah. And then whatever that is whatever that is. If people then change their mind or perspective or whatever, that's one of the reasons why I like to talk to interesting people. I like challenging my own thoughts and belief systems. I like hearing what other people have got to say. And also... I have a genuine type fascination of what makes people who they are, what makes them think the way that they think and do some of the things that they do. Yeah. But it's not really about, if you want to join that level of curiosity, you can join it if you want. But I ain't here to try and change nothing or change anyone's mind or anything like that. That's not your job. Do you know what I'm saying? That's
okay, so I'm curious then, Chuckie, what was your perception of me back then? Thank you. Oh, I get the first bite. Yay. Come on. What was your perception of me back then versus now, if at all there is a perception of me now, because we only just met?
I've never, like, see when I first started seeing you around and that, I was just seeing clips. So, like, if I had any perception at that time, I would have thought, oh, she's got a really interesting, quite extreme point of view on certain things. Mm-hmm. But now when I see you, I'm like, in my head, I look at it like, from the surface, most people will think, this is just me, I could be wrong, yeah, that you are talking always from a point of women being a victim, which I don't think that is the case. When I see you, I think you're not saying that men can't be a victim. Mm-hmm. A lot of what you're saying is, this is what will happen when women do become a victim. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? So the rest then becomes whataboutism. It's like, if I'm sitting here and you're talking about this and someone else comes and says, but men, this, that. It's like, now you're doing the whataboutism.
That's why I don't go on Mandem podcast. I would consider this like a Mandem podcast.
Right.
It's not, you know.
But in relation to my world, this is what I'd consider like the polar opposite of my world in terms of like, my world is very... like, women's empowerment, women's this, women's stuff here, women's stuff stays here. But the reason why I don't go on podcasts with men is because they like to do the whataboutism. And it's not coming from a place of them having critically reflected on the whataboutisms. It's just them trying to catch me out.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Someone's trying to get, they're trying to get a win.
Yeah, and I'm always prepared for that, because it's like, I've answered these catch-out questions too many times. Like, the main catch-out questions I always get based on the ideas that I put out. So people like to try and catch me out by saying, well, what if you meet a man and he's absolutely broke, has no prospects, but he's got a nice personality and he is in love with you? Well, he can be an acquaintance.
But you know what it is?
What
What's wrong with that?
But people will say,
No.
but what about love? Like, what if he's the love of your life? He will not. A man like that can't be the love of my life.
He hasn't
Right.
even. He can't even afford to meet you.
That's what I'm saying. But then, like,
How
but
can
it's
we
okay for
develop
you
this
to say
love?
that. I can't say that.
Yes, you can.
But when I say it, people are like, "Rah, that's."
Slumflower come Jamaica.
No.
They'll say it for you.
No, hear what I'm
That's
saying.
how I know.
Nah, but do you know why I agree with that? And I've mentioned this before on the pod, yeah, is that sometimes the message cuts deeper when it is, let's say for example, yeah, there's something that is problematic that the man them do, right? A woman can turn around and say, this is problematic that you're doing that. Sometimes the man them will just be like, cool, whatever, fuck it, she's just chatting shit.
Fully right.
But if one of the man them turn around and say, nah, brother, that was mad. He's moving a little bit wicked there.
But
Then
that's
sometimes that cuts through a little bit deeper.
Yes. And
Unfortunately.
But I'm gonna sorry to cut because I was just gonna cut you. It's only because people care about now.
Right.
I don't care about now. If you do the right thing, eventually people catch up because they have no choice to. Because once you've done the right thing, there's nowhere else to go. So if that's the right message, I'm not saying that the impact that I have, it will be much quicker if I say it. But if I say it once, it has instant gratification, and it's like if you say it time and time
People
again,
wanna argue
you
it.
take. But if you take a look at what you achieve in terms of changing people's mindset and growth in comparison to my one thing, I may not have all the you may not have all the attention I had, but in terms of impact of what's really happening, that will lie with you. That's why I always say I don't really care if you can see it or not.
Yeah.
A tree fell down in the forest today, and no one saw.
So did the tree really fall?
Here's my thing.
So
though.
did the tree
fall? Right. But sometimes you say like about doing the right thing. But what happens when somebody already thinks that they're doing the right thing?
But that's okay if you think. We all have thoughts.
Right.
If it never comes to fruition, fuck your thought.
Yeah, because some people don't know like what sometimes the right thing for some people
P
is
Diddy
mad
thought he was
to-
doing the right thing. Today, fuck your thought.
You know what? That's even it because I'm following that case heavy. Yeah? And
Same,
it's so
man.
interesting how you can see the differences between how somebody would see the right and wrong thing, depending on who's telling the story. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%. And
Depending
also,
on who's the victim.
depending on who's the victim and where your emotional lies. Obviously, as a man of God, Rasta man. That's where we lie. So, as much as you can give justification for any one action, I just like the end result. What did he do? Piece of shit. Yeah, he can have a story. Yeah, we can have understanding. But when you take a look at what's happened, it don't matter. Just go through it. And when I go through look at the case, I'm just like, there's just more reasons for me to say, this guy couldn't be my brethren, my uncle, anything. He couldn't be around me. So when I see justified arguments for it, I'm like, oh, you listen to his music, you like it. I listen to his music. But after 3 minutes, 30 seconds, I turned it off. And I live a different life.
Right.
I don't want to be associated with that. But I do understand where you're coming from because when I see some people reporting on it, when I see a couple of the ladies reporting on it, they're just keeping it 100.
Yeah.
This guy's a piece of crap. Cassie, there's a couple of things you shouldn't have done, but at the same time, we can't live from the perspective of being a 19-year-old girl in all of this. Then there's this other guy, dresses snazzy, can't remember his name, academics calls him Unk. Every minute, he's trying to show an argument for Diddy. And the only time I ever say, cool, free Diddy, is if what you're pinning him for, he hasn't done, cool. But you see them other stuff, see if we can just... And I'm never a man to say a man gonna have to go to prison, but it's not like a massive conversation. It shouldn't be to say that this guy's done something wrong. He should be penalised. It shouldn't be a massive conversation for me. I think it more speaks to the time that we're in rather than what it is. Because when we first came out on Twitter, that's penalised, that's done, we don't have to discuss it. The moment we valued opinions too much, we don't even value where it's coming from. We just value the opinion, irrespective of where it's coming from. All of a sudden, it's a conversation piece. That doesn't work when you're doing a dissertation in university. They're going to ask you for your reference. It has to be a credible reference or you can't put it in your exam. But when it comes to this stuff, it could have been Tom from Stockwell. Doesn't make sense to me. Wrong is wrong. Rastaman.
You know the whataboutism stuff anyway, like going back to that, or the example that you used, in my mind, for me, I'm not interested in stuff like that. If anything, I'm more interested in like what does tranquility look like for you? What does that look like?
Do you want the answer?
Yes.
Because when I give my answer now, they'll come and fight me. Tranquility looks like
I got your back, fam. Come on,
Listen, all right, you're going to back me in? Okay, cool. Tranquility looks like having all of my bills paid, all of my expenses covered, plus just because money, a life where the man loves me so much that he will do whatever is required to bring me peace and ease in my life, because what else is the man there for? That's tranquility in my definition in relation to men and love and dating, because I date men.
This is me ignorantly asking, is that like a practice you would give to somebody else, or is that just more for you?
I believe all women should apply it where
Necessary.
Like pick the best possible option based on what's available to you. So that would be relative for where you live, how old you are, your access to certain people or environments, but don't go for the first man that gives you a compliment, kind of like you wouldn't buy the first ever house you viewed. Do you know what I mean?
I said this yesterday. At some point, you gotta take a bit of accountability in the situation. Man can't just say that and all of a sudden you do that. Because the moment I've grown up on,
we do that.
My mum is not on that.
We do that all the time.
Who?
We do that. Bare people say shit and do shit differently,
like,
all the time.
I've just seen my mum get compliments even after my dad, and she looked upon him and said, "Come what? More from?" And I'm just like, yeah, like you had to. There was a lot that the next guy that came to... I never saw next man for time. And when I did, the work this man put in... Even I had to come and say, big man, you know what?
I'll take it from here.
I got youths now. You put in the work.
Do you know what's so funny about what you're saying about people can say things but not do it? So on the way here, I was waiting for an Uber outside of... There's like a Hotel Ibis in Shepherd's Bush.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So I was standing outside there waiting,
Unsafe.
and there, I know, right? But it was daylight, so I was like, should be fine. And I saw this man, and he looked like what I imagined to be a courier, like because he was pushing that, like, it's not a wheelbarrow, but it's like a.
It's got that little grey sort of bag.
You
You
can
throw
stack
stuff in
boxes
it.
on it. Yeah, so it's almost like an upright wheelbarrow.
Oh yeah, that one.
And he was obnoxiously topless and had reflective glasses on, and I hate when you relate to this when you accidentally make eye contact with a man and that's all.
You're right.
No. So then I was now like overcompensating. That was the worst thing I could have done because I was waiting for my Uber, so I was eyes out. Yeah. So when I accidentally made eye contact with him, to overcompensate and cancel that eye contact, I was looking at my phone, looking everywhere but his direction.
Yeah.
And
he's waiting for it again.
He came up to me. He put
did.
his wheelbarrow away in the van. Came up to me topless, and he's like, I saw that you was trying to avoid eye contact. Just want to say really beautiful. And I had big AirPod Maxes, the ones that go over your head, on. So it's clear that I'm listening to music. So in a very obviously irritated way, I removed one pad of the headphone and was kind of side-eyeing him. And then he was saying something along the lines of from lip reading, because my music was still playing. I don't even pause my music anymore when men approach me. The music will still be playing, so I'm just lip reading at this point.
Right.
And he was saying something along the lines of, I want to get to know you. And I said to him, I'm a gold digger. And he said, that's okay. And I was just walking off. Because now even saying I'm a gold digger doesn't work.
Right.
And he's not going to give you no money because he's a every courier. I'm not saying disrespect to every, but when I think about what every courier is making, it's not enough to entice me. So why would you say it's okay that I'm a gold digger? You don't have anything for me to take from you. So you see what I mean about what you're saying about people will say things, but they won't live up to it.
Just on the flip side, not that I'm trying to call people out.
Sorry to say, but being a gold... being a gold digger is relative though, isn't it?
100%.
Yes.
It depends on how much gold you want.
Right.
But
And how much the person has.
exactly. I'm just saying, the man them, in terms of their jobs, sometimes are transformers. What you see ain't what you get.
That's
what
fine.
you get is a hell of a lot better than what you see. Do you know what I'm saying? But we just got to pattern it up a particular way. You see me, you look like I'm wearing a prison tracksuit. Next thing you know, you see me in Dubai, I'm with the sheikhs. It's crazy,
That's
but
great.
you would never know it. Do you know where I'm coming from? So, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
'cause
I see where you're coming from as well. And I think that leads to what I wanted to say about kind of what I touched on earlier, where someone says, what if the love of your life is broken, etc.
Yeah.
And then people say things like, okay, but what about ambition and potential as virtues and values? And my thing is, what one man is building, another man has built. So I'm not going to wait for you to realize your potential. I'm just going to go where it's already there. And that sounds really cold and horrible. But as a woman, I don't have time to wait. Just like how a man wouldn't wait for me to become pretty if I was busted. Like, he would just kind of be like, that's not my type. I don't like her. She doesn't have what entices me to go.
And do you know what as
elsewhere.
well? It must be relative to where you are in life as well. If you're a 16-year-old girl, this is not your advice. But if you're like a 30-plus-year-old woman and you're very, like, for example, you're very successful in your own right, you know exactly what you're doing, whatever you lay down with has to be reminiscent of that. Otherwise,
It needs
it's
to
too
be
much.
adding.
Brother.
Yeah, I think
I'm with you. I'm sorry, I'm with you.
do you know what it is? Yeah,
Can't take
the
away.
sentiment in that I understand more so is that for some people you get to a certain point in your life, yeah, where you just start feeling like I'm not here to waste any time. I just want to get straight to it.
Intention.
Yeah,
And that's what intention is. And it's like, sometimes, let's say for example, there's situations where, you know, let's say if you wanted to have a child as a woman, for example, now you want to have a child, biology isn't always on the side, right? So now you might get to a certain point in your life and you're saying to yourself, you know what, biology isn't on my side. I ain't got time to be wasting to work out this, that, and this, that. It just needs to be what it is right now. And I think even, obviously I'm not doing a whataboutism, but I think even for men that can be the same type of thing. Nah. I know, I just realised. But I mean, like, even with the biology thing, it can be like, you know what, right now, hear what I'm saying, this is what I want. The biology isn't whatever it's supposed to be. And right now, I'm going for what I need right now.
And my thing is, like,
I'm fucking with that though.
I'm open to the possibility of being a mom, but I'm also open to the possibility of not being a mom.
Interesting. Go, why?
The reason why I hold that position is because what will make me feel comfortable with the idea of potentially giving up my freedom for a prolonged period of time and potentially risk losing my life, potentially go through all of the inconveniences that come with motherhood is if I'm having a baby with a man who's making sure I'm fully taken care of for the rest of my life. Thank you, poet. Glad you understand.
I've constantly said the when I speak to girls and like 18, I can't wait to be a mum.
Wait.
And I'm like,
please wait.
You haven't met the guy. You don't know any of this information, but the end result is so desirable.
And also, do they understand? And you're a father, so you would understand the nuanced layers of motherhood, parenthood, all of the issues that now arise as two partners when there's children involved.
It's crazy, bro.
And you can't just solve it over one conversation. It's so layered. Like, children come with different needs, and the woman's mindset changes. Now, are you ready to pivot? Like, it's so much more than just feeling like you've completed the circle of your human existence by being a mum, because a lot of mums are not as fulfilled as they thought they were going to feel. And that's not me trying to put bad propaganda against motherhood. It's more just shedding light on the multi-layered reality of what society has taught us that motherhood will do for women and make us feel versus what the actual result is, and why women need to put more measures in place through the men they pick to set themselves up for more security, because your child deserves a present father. Your child deserves a father who's going to make sure both mother and child and the home is taken care of. I don't think that's a big thing to ask for, especially when I see men saying they want to have kids. They're not going to risk dying in childbirth.
Do you know what? Can I just say?
Big facts,
that
bro.
was the part that I thought was one of the most interesting bits of what you just said, which I don't think people talk about enough, is that aspect of risking your actual life.
Yeah.
Because you can actually genuinely die doing that.
Even with the best healthcare, even if that man is rich and he's paying for the best maternal healthcare, you can still die.
What do you mean, big facts? When my baby mum, the mother of my kids was having the twins, when they took out that, they said to me,
He corrected himself.
I love that. Yeah, I noticed that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You see that? I saw that, you know.
That question is good.
well, you were late.
Call that quick.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
So when the mother of the children was...
Literally, I remember being in a room with me and her when the water broke. We're in the hospital room. There was 2 doctors. Once they checked how many centimeters something was, 9 men come in this room. She's being rushed somewhere, and then they said, you have to make an agreement. We have to use an epidural. She's having twins. There's no guarantee that all 3 will make it. You have to make an agreement. And they're pushing her, and I'm telling me I have to make the agreement. And I'm like, what are you telling me here? This is crazy. And when I saw what this needle was,
through your spine.
What is this?
Yeah.
The doctor took out this and just said, and I remember her face like, and I'm like, oh my.
And they tell you have to stay still through contraction
Brother.
so they can put it in, because if they misinject it, you're paralyzed the rest of your life.
Crazy.
And I'm sitting there praying, doing the most. Like, that situation is... They could not stick this in my back.
Right, so that's why women deserve to be as audacious as we want to be. Yeah, it's a big sacrifice. So I expect that man to sacrifice his pockets for me. If I'm sacrificing my life and my body and my mental well-being to have a man's child, I'm demanding what I want. And if it's too much for the man, it's the wrong man. That's how I see it. That's why I'm 50-50 on motherhood, because I really enjoy my life right now being child-free. Sometimes I want to go somewhere spontaneous. Like yesterday, I was able to spontaneously go to Beyonce concert because someone at her label gave me tickets. Now, if I had children, I'll have to be hustling for a babysitter.
CC, childcare.
No offense to the people who have children, but like, Lukey, that's one of the reasons why I'm not in a hurry to have a kid, because that's really, really stressful. Like, I feel really sorry for people I know who have children and they're missing out on bare things because they couldn't find a babysitter or because there's parents' evening. It's like, oh, parents' evening.
But
like,
you know what it is? I hear where you're coming from.
It's not so bad unless you got a fuckery situation in it. If your situation is shit, then obviously that compounds the
It's not
misery.
even that, because you don't have kids. So what I'll say from the person that has kids, it opens you up to new experiences. So there are things right now that you lot experience as the people you are, which are of value to you. But when you have children, it opens you up to other things that have value to you.
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't really care. Like, yeah, that football match was dope, but I can go and do this with my sons. Like, that's became my mentality. So all the things that I wanted to do that I don't have value in no more. Arsenal tickets. Big man told me on the date I'm flying there. As soon as I and Khalifa came into the equation, I just look at them. I'm like, can I take them? Nah, I don't even want to go then. If you're not taking all my kids, I don't even care, bro.
But are you not talking from the point of being a present father who may not necessarily have what is the traditional thing of being able to see them every day or whatever else, yeah? But you're present, you're there, you go and see them, you fly. There was a situation with you go there, whatever else.
Always.
And so she will have, I can't speak for her, but she'll have a level of comfort in knowing that you are there to do things and to provide for your kid. I'm more talking from that place of, if you are in that situation where you don't have that, you don't have that, you don't have that safety mechanism where, you know, the dad is stepping forward, or even if it's a dad the other way around or whatever, you don't have that safety mechanism. You will hear people in those situations saying, you know, like, not necessarily complaining, but sometimes it sounds like a complaint.
All right, you know what?
Sometimes it's like, I can't do this.
Let
I
me
can't do
talk
that
a little
because
bit.
My mum's not around.
I hear where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
I've got to stop you again because I've got to go a little bit into you to know, but not too much. As you know, I had to have my kids almost up to a year by myself, my guy. So there'll be loads of times where there's things that you want to do, and I don't have nobody to just come there like that. My mum works, my sister works. I ain't got no one to look after the kids. Ask Maya, you see Zaina Khalifa at Anthony Joshua interview. We're there. I'm with them. Like, I'm telling you, I understand where you're coming. I can never speak from a woman's perspective. I don't know. Right. But for me, if them youths were growing inside of me, they can't go nowhere without me. And I think about it from this perspective. People think, oh, it's because they live in Sweden now. No. When they were in my yard, if I could take them, they are coming everywhere I go. To the point where that's the reasons why we have the relationship we have, just because they're a major part of my life. I can't look at that and go, I can't do that because I have them. Because I'm like, them in comparison to that is dead. I would rather be with you.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
You would be surprised at how much people do feel that way. It's not that they don't love their children. Yeah. It doesn't mean that they don't love necessarily the situation that they're in, or they don't like the situation that they're in regards to being a parent. But there's always going to be this thing here in particular that's going to make them feel like there is some form of missing out.
That's because then they've had children at the wrong time. Like, I can say I had children at a point where I've done a lot of stuff.
That's what essentially what we're talking about.
Oh, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're a rare circumstance, because a lot of men have children just because they nutted. Not because they actually cared about their part. Do you kind of get what I'm trying to say? So those are the majority of men who, what you're describing, Chuckie, about where they're just kind of like, I'd rather be on the motive talking to girls. Like,
nah, see, some of the dads I know, then we're not on that.
Good,
like,
because I meet a lot of men who they genuinely, like, they will conceal that they have a partner and children so they can talk to a girl, and it just looks really washed when you find out.
That's a bit nuts, isn't it?
You know what I mean? They're real. They're in the wild.
I've seen them outside. I'm like, you're a dad. Like
Like, why should that be the reaction? Because it's like they kept that purposefully concealed so they can chat to girls.
Brother,
that's crazy. What, at 37?
They picnically come like they're told. Can't see it. Just into their shoe.
I think monogamy is what's fucked it up. I'll be honest with you.
And this is why I don't participate in monogamy,
because you know what it is.
Do you reckon that's messed it up?
Wait.
Yes.
I think it's.
Hear what I'm saying?
It's the phone.
I'll be honest with you. I love companionship. I do.
So do I.
But though, I do think that it's mashed. I think that it's mashed up so much things, and so for that, some people are they find it so difficult to be truly honest about what they what they want and what they got going on because of that. I think if it wasn't this way, there would be a lot more honesty. That's what I believe.
I believe the principle of being together was given to us under a misconception. So it's confusing for us moving forward.
Well, you know my take on it.
Yeah, I think when my parents came here, they felt they had to be together because there ain't other black people on this road, and you got to fight through all of this, what have you. And it was a way of justifying what they're doing, despite the fact that they weren't happy about it. Whereas if they'd done it with clean intent, and when it wasn't right, they moved on, I might have had a better practice moving forward. But in my mind, I'm thinking, you got to be in the... Like, bro, it's just bad practice given down and it's trauma. We need one person to just go, okay, I want to be with you.
I believe
honestly.
Sorry, Slum. I think it was bad practice from the day the I've said this so much times here, yeah? From the day the person in the village or wherever they was turned around one day and said, do you know what? This one's mine.
No,
I think it was bad practice from that moment.
Jamaica? You've been to Jamaica recently. When I went to Jamaica,
I'm going back like thousands of years ago. I'm talking about how we are naturally. I believe that one person in the village one day, everyone was butt naked. This is my thing. This is what I've been saying.
They're specifically butt naked.
Everyone was butt naked.
Everyone.
Because everyone was butt naked and it wasn't a thing. No one weren't looking at nothing. They was just doing what they was doing. Man, they was doing twigs, this, that. Women would do whatever they was doing, yeah? Then, somebody, maybe a Don, turned around one day.
He was a
and
Don.
just looked at the scenario and said, because everyone was just procreating, doing what they were doing, and probably they were doing it for survival, doing it to build community, whatever else. There wasn't all of this other shit with it, yeah? But one Don turned around and said, I'm not loving this. I'm just not loving this. And then he turned around and said, you know what? She's mine.
now,
And then, wait, let me finish.
yeah.
Then the other butt naked Dons and that was around there, and everyone's saying, now what are you talking about? That's mad. Like, that's yours. All right, then, hear what? This one's mine. Now, before you know it, all these thousands of years later, there becomes all of these rules of what you can and can't do and this, that. And so now you get to a point here where the world has changed, but the script hasn't changed. And so now in it, you're getting all of these lies, all of this infidelity. Everyone's hiding this, everyone's doing this, everyone's doing that. I believe if this wasn't the case, there would be less lies when it comes to stuff like that. Because what is there to lie about?
But
So
men
this-
like lying though.
Well,
Yeah,
everyone
I
can
don't
just
think
be
that's the
honest.
thing. I think it's not that. Tuesday, man, a Rasta, man. I like what you've done. Clip it up. You're done now, but let's talk for the trenches. Portmore, all of that. I believe people were meant to be together. But I reckon one individual, probably European, started looking at other stuff because they like to inquire in other waters. And then they said, infidelity seems alright. And once someone saw one person go outside of a relationship and get away with it, men follow. And that's all that happened. I do believe, because my kids grow up and have liking towards things and say, this is mine. With no information about life, Khalifa's telling me this tissue is his.
Yeah,
And
but
then
you know
they're
what they
fighting
also do?
over it.
Do you know what they also do? And what we do as well?
What?
I like this as well.
No. In terms of, I don't think so. When you have
Yes, we do.
One second,
What are you in the jungle?
Can I talk, or we just gonna cut me up every time? I'm saying to you, when you have people,
Getting he's in the jungle.
when there's
What?
restrictions, me,
Go
I'm
on,
different.
go.
I'm
All right,
different.
of course.
I'm outside. I'm never gonna tell these ladies I'm committing. I'm not. I'm committed to one thing, outside.
Strongly.
Eventually, it will stop, and I will go. Let me come back inside.
Strongly,
But
go.
for now, I can't. It's dangerous, treacherous. Back to this year, I think we were meant to be the way we were, and we were led astray by someone, maybe Henry VIII.
By you.
What do you mean? How
You're
did we get-
outside perpetually.
No, I'm outside, not committing. Truthfully. So if someone said to me, "Yeah, I want to, darling, see what you're looking for," it's not here. I looked at page 7. It's
so
not
when
here.
you say you're outside and you're not committing, so like what,
No, it's happening though. I'm not
what
doing
are you,
anything.
so you're not sleeping with the ladies?
Nah,
You're just,
I'm not on that.
You're
He's
just,
going to sit here and just do
just
all of this now.
smelling
isn't
the
he?
smell of
He
their
is, but it's all right.
Okay, so I've got this leg thing, which has made things very
That slowed
difficult.
you down.
Right, slowed him
But
down.
in terms
right.
of conversation,
Challenge him.
I'm up for conversations. But in terms of the other part, I don't know if we can do that right
So
now.
are you celibate? Is this what this is you're saying?
It's not celibacy, it's just vibey.
You're
Where
gonna
there's
need
a
to
vibe,
elaborate.
I might commit. So I didn't do nothing for like 4 months one time.
Use a
I
different
found.
word. Then commit, please.
Because
But
what are
I'm
you
committed
committing to?
Me. So I look in the mirror, I go, you're buff, you know. Go out with yourself today. I take myself out, I take myself shopping. Wait till I take myself on holiday.
So you don't date, you're not dating women.
Dating's weird.
So when you see a beautiful woman in the dancery and you're enticed by her.
Ask Chuckie.
So
Chuckie,
you don't like.
have you not seen me in a dance?
Yeah,
buy a gal drink, pay them compliments, and leave.
He's a big vibe. Yeah,
So you go home and you sleep.
He is a bit
Face your
different. He
books.
is different though.
Just because you need to
I'm
have
proud
a
to hear
vibe.
that.
Because you know what I think?
No,
London's small.
When I say different, I mean in terms of like his personality and how he maneuvers is different.
Yeah.
But the practice
Is
still kinda.
So we're having a question of your ethics here.
No, I'm
Ethical
outside.
practices are being brought into question.
But it can't be. The phone's there, the proof's there. We're online. Someone jump and say something. None of you lot can say you've laid down with me. This is big facts.
Do you know what? Same.
None, who's gonna come like, oh, I laid down with Pop years ago. You can't say today.
Or yesterday.
Or the day before.
Right.
Come on, chat to them. Now some guys will be like, that's nothing to be proud of. No, I have options.
I think
I've
that's something
chosen
be
not
proud
to.
of. You have self-restraint.
Come on, my chargy.
That's
It's just, do you know what it is? When I was younger, yeah, we're outside proper. I'm outside crazy. As you get older, you get scared. As a guy, you
should be scared.
It is scary
Especially
out there.
your women that are offering
Brother,
pussy to you.
I keep telling man them, if there was ever a time to commit, it's now. I am afraid of being a single man outside. I'm seeing beer man getting locked up, this, that, and the third. Australia, it's mad. I don't want to be involved.
That's crazy.
Let me just be
Wow.
by myself. It's safe.
It is
The
safe.
only argument I be having with the TV when I'm
And
watching
that's
this.
the most potent form of contraception, being by yourself.
I'm telling
There's
people.
no pregnancy scares that come with being by yourself.
And then do you know what happens?
What?
When you meet someone that you vibe with, because you haven't really been in that vibe, all of a sudden you're like,
take
this
your
feels a
time.
bit real. Take your time with
Yeah.
it. I've done the rush thing. I had twins. Come on, you have to chill out sometimes. You have to chill out sometimes.
Slam, where was you gonna go with the monogamy thing and why?
So
you don't what's your
I'm glad
take?
you remembered that.
It's good at his job.
Yeah. So I see men as resources, whether that's a resource for enjoyment, resource for money, resource for opportunities. I don't date men in a serious way. I kind of date them for what they're doing for me until that stops, and then I just be like, well, that was fun, and then I go back to my life.
So you're man them.
I feel like people say that to me all the time.
That's man them.
But what's different is that I don't sleep with them. I spend their money, but I don't sleep with them, or I do other things with them. So
See, I still man them because man them have an intention. I know man them that will go, I'm hungry, and they'll phone a gal that and boom, they have two eats, the dessert and the dinner.
Strongly.
So for me, I take that like an octave higher, and I only go for men who are already of the lifestyle of enjoying being used by women.
Interesting.
So what a woman like me would be called as a dominatrix.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys are familiar with that phrase.
Absolutely.
I watch Jerry Springer. Come on.
So I got into that lifestyle back in like 2021.
COVID.
Yeah.
You started interacting during then. I would have
I
blood
start-
clot by the time you ever
that was when I
separated.
started to like change my mindset a little
so
bit
you're
more.
new. I thought you
you were
was
old school.
Yeah, I thought you was old money with that.
But I was already. So the thing is,
You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't physically
Pre-COVID money with that.
I wasn't physically acting on the lifestyle in the way I do now.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
kind of like more in the intellectual portion of it, which is so important. Like you kind of need to know
The
why
theory first before the practical. I'm rating that education.
Right.
We do the theory first. Now we're in life.
Exactly. Know why your yes is a yes and why your no is a no. That's kind of how I do things. So with being a dominatrix, it's kind of out of political praxis, but also because I'm really selfish and I actually do enjoy when men do things for me and I don't do anything for them back, and also when they enjoy me being mean to them as well. Like I already wanted to be mean to men, so the fact that they would pay me to be mean to them, it's like, oh, of course I'm gonna do that. And I get all kinds of, I don't want to say bizarre, I don't want to shame them, but like fascinating interests. So like 2 weeks ago I had a guy,
This is crazy.
this is a foot guy, which foot guy is normal. Like I don't
yeah.
believe, I believe in,
Would you like my foot?
pardon?
Would you like my foot?
There are men who like other men's feet.
Yeah, man. You have to stay over
And there are men who have a thing for, is this like a medical boot? What would you call this thing you're wearing?
Louboutin.
I mean, whatever. I call,
Louboutin, yes.
Yeah, Louboutin.
you know,
Yeah.
Rastafarian.
I got a couple of questions about kinks. Actually.
So I'm happy to answer these questions because it's such an interesting thing. But yeah, Poet is wearing, for those who can't see and are listening, Poet is wearing a medical boot because he rolled his ankle. And there are people that are into that. If a woman is wearing that, there are people that have a kink for that. So this
What do you
particular
mean?
guy, because they get horny at the idea of just how it looks. I don't know why. But I had a guy who said to me that he's really into feet. Now, feet is not
No, what are you doing?
Oh, carry on.
feet is not a weird fetish to have.
No.
No.
This guy, he likes feet that are sweaty.
Right.
He likes socks that are specifically sweaty that have been worn for a while, and he likes like women's trainers that have been worn for a while with the sweat like trapped in the shoe. If that makes sense, like you know when you've been out all day and then you take your shoe off and it's just the initial pong, I should say. He requested for me to, like, via virtual video, for me to make him sniff my sweaty worn socks and make him sniff my sweaty feet and make him sniff my sweaty shoe. Virtually. But the thing is, it's confusing to me because you can't smell anything through the screen.
So you didn't actually do it?
Oh, I did it.
How? What did you do?
So what happened was, so when he made the request, to hopefully get him to say no, because I wasn't in the mood that day to do anything. But to hopefully get him to say no, I said for 10 minutes that'll be £50, and he immediately said yes. So I was like, oh, fuck it then, all right, fine.
I'll do it.
But then I had to lie that I've been out all day because I was home, so there was no sweaty anything.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So I was gonna say it wasn't actually sweaty.
Most times, like a lot of the
It's
fantasies
the
that
idea.
men like, they don't even care. Most times they can't tell that the woman is making it up.
Yeah.
They
So there's more Diddy's out here like this.
Diddy's thing, by the way,
this is
was
consensual. But there are a lot of men who they love armpit sweat.
Consensual as well.
They love armpit sweat.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, belly button fetish is a thing. Armpit fetish. They like sniffing armpits.
Is this is gonna sound like a mad one? Is the behind the ear one?
Whoa. See,
Because you
that's
don't know.
probably
like,
is.
that's a hidden- how do you
Because
know
I ain't
that?
heard that one yet.
No,
he
because
was asked-
I'm just thinking. Obviously,
It probably is,
You get what I'm
because it's a
saying?
woman's ear.
The back of the ear and that. Sometimes people ain't cleaning the back of their ears and whatnot, and they get. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there are
No.
men who really like women's odor. There are men who request odor. There's certain things that I'm not participating in because
Right.
I don't like stinking. I can do the whole stinky sock thing because I'll pretend that it's stinking until the day someone asks to buy my sweaty socks. That's when I'm going to have a problem because I have to just like get someone to wear the sock for me and run around 10 miles in it. But what's interesting about men who love being bullied by women is people have this stereotype of them that they are ugly, insufferable, abandoned, rejected men living in their mum's basement. That's only some of them. A lot of them are good looking. A lot of them, they're successful in their own right. They just know what they like and they enjoy the humiliation. And ever since I got into that lifestyle, that's why I can't date normally, because now I see men for the wider spectrum of what they are. And I can't have just...
you're not gonna judge them idiots by me and my brothers. Sorry, darling. You know I love you and I'm with you, but that's where we stop. Idiot, good-looking guys doing well in life that want to smell the socks that are not there. Nobody compare me for that.
Not there.
Never. Man's moving like Peter Pan. Just gonna imagine there's dinner and now we're eating. No, sir. That person can't be compared to me.
Well, listen, what
Stinks.
you never have to worry about anyone being compared to you, because when it comes to, for me anyway, when it comes to men that I maneuver through and navigate, like, I'm only there for what they can do for me. I'm not dating men for like one day I'm gonna fall in love and find my Prince Charming. I'm just gonna go for the one that loves me the most is the one that I'll just be like, fine, we'll just go with you then. I'm not gonna do
Serious?
Yeah, because I'm pretty much like, I would describe myself as asexual. I have not had sex with a man since like 5 years ago.
Wait.
Sorry.
What?
Yeah.
So you don't have you don't have the desire really. Do you have the desire?
I have the desire, but I don't act on it with a man. I can just do it myself. And also the desire, I interrogate the desire. So it's like, if I'm feeling horny, I ask myself, like, what is it I desire? Like, is it attention?
Right.
Is it like, what is the feeling that I'm seeking? Because if someone is horny, like, sometimes it's not that they want to have sex with someone. It might be that they just want like companionship or attention. So for me, I just get to the nucleus of the emotion, and most times it's just like, I was bored.
Yeah,
Or ovulating.
that can be true.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
that could definitely can be true.
Have you always felt that way, or do you think it's because like your eyes have been opened to
That's
what
such a
men
good
are like,
question.
and then like so you weren't always asexual.
I used to be a super pick me.
Super who?
Is
Super
it?
pick me.
Is it?
Yeah, like before, I want to say before 2018, I was complete opposite. I used to genuinely think that if a man found me attractive, that was like winning a trophy. Like, you know, you've been selected for partnership by a man. Like, woo, you're on the leaderboard now, woo. And then when I saw that when I saw that attention wasn't really going anywhere, and it was leading me into these weird spirals of like spending a year just ruminating, and you know the ones where it's like you have a stupid fling situationship and you're taking 6 months to get over something that lasted 2 months. I was like, this can't be my life. So then I
respect that.
I did a rigid reset, went on kind of like a small break, slept with men again, and then I was like, this isn't what, like,
It's not fulfilling.
if this ain't coming with money or like an improved lifestyle, this is actually not even worth it, because
It
I
wasn't
can do this
fulfilling.
myself. Huh?
It wasn't fulfilling.
It's just not fulfilling. I just feel like it's really not all that. Like, I'm more turned on by men who just want me to just use them. I'm not interested in...
No, sex is really good.
Do you know what she said that I thought was really, which I thought was funny? So you were talking about like women that look to be attracted by men or whatever, and you said, listen, there is always going to be a man who wants to see your tits.
There always will be. There will never be a shortage of male attention, unfortunately.
Yeah, never.
That's a
Unfortunately.
fucking...
Seriously,
Why
unfortunate.
unfortunately?
It's really unfortunate.
No,
Listen.
when you're trying to walk home at
Bruv.
like 11 p.m. through Bruce Grove and
Nah, you're in
20 men
Tottenham.
are-
That's a whole nother
It's
conversation.
anywhere in the world though. Like,
it is literally.
that's
Anywhere.
the lived experience of women. It doesn't matter where you are. Like, now they're doing it in broad daylight now. Like,
That's
they're
like me
now
when I
killing women
wear
in broad
grey
daylight.
tracksuit bottoms.
I
You're just
know,
taking a
you're
look
scared
down
you're gonna
and...
get groped.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's annoying for me. I'm like, stop
fine.
looking down. Like, my trainers aren't nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they're looking at something else, isn't it?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Feel objectified.
Brother.
Oh,
It's not nice, is it?
It's not nice, is it?
No, it's pretty right. No, I hear you. Hey, you're right though, man. You're right though,
When
man.
men are objectified, it's endearing. When women are objectified, it's life threatening.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Because I don't agree that men should objectify women at all. I don't agree with it. But just out of curiosity, one thing that my dad always told me that we're influenced heavily by is television. And a lot of people don't know themselves. So when they take a look at content, they see aspects of somebody that they potentially like, and they begin to emulate those characteristics and then put them into play in life. And depending on the response, they'll go, I like that. That one worked. I'll stick with that. So then a lot of people are just a combination of loads of things that they've seen on television. So that has an effect on us.
Of course.
Now, if men...
Like monogamy. But yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
listen.
Anyway,
You're right.
sorry.
You're right.
Sorry.
If content, and I'm not suggesting that it should be one way because it's the other, but if content, which I've noticed, especially in female rap, has become over-sexualized to the point where I'm put off by a female rap occasionally, like, I like, 100%. Before, there was a bigger scope. So you could have your Little Kim, you could have your Fox, but you could have your Lauryn Hill, bro.
Yeah,
and there was like a much bigger scope. The Brat wasn't of it. She was a rude girl. Like, I like that type of rap from everybody. The moment it just became super over-sexualized, I'm just like, if that's the music and that's the direction the music's going in and that's the direction the content's going in, and younger people are just kind of not having the options that I had when I was younger, this fruit bowl's just got bananas, like, does that play a role in men objectifying women as well? And can women potentially, in certain spaces, I'm not saying don't express yourself and show that you're proud, of course, but just an element of class to it, just because there are individuals on planet Earth that can get turned on by this. So if we go too mad, do you know where I'm coming from? If one area in any one art form is too over-sexualized, that has the capacity to make it a very endangered environment for women.
I completely agree with what you're saying. And rap has played a huge role in perpetuating that over-sexualization. I'd also say that porn has played a role too. That the world is moving in a place where there's just a heightened level of mass consumption of sexuality, and when
Bonnie
there
Blue?
is like
She's
even
outside.
that Bonnie Blue lady, I feel like her eyes really scare me.
Bro,
I can't explain it.
No, I don't want
She
you to
looks
I don't want you to
soulless.
finish your point
One-
now. Go
I
on.
think she's
I
being
don't-
banned now.
I didn't want you to finish your point
that's what I'm saying.
because we'll
Yeah,
divert to that.
you're right. You're right. Sorry.
What I was going to say with what you were elaborating on about how rap music influences women's sexuality and like whether women can still be classy. This is the thing, like there's always going to be women who play into being sexualized and monetize it with their own consent. That's sex work. There will be women who notice that women are being sexualized, and because they want attention and to feel loved, they play into that so they can hopefully get closer to the thing that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And there will always be women who are also just modest and uninterested in that. And for me, I kind of pick and choose. I like take what I need and leave what I don't. So sometimes I strategically, like if I'm in a situation where I know that me appearing a certain way will work to my advantage, I will use that to my advantage.
Yeah, most people will, to be fair.
But it's an informed use of my sexuality. It's not me sexualizing myself and then not knowing how to handle what comes next. It's me knowing that when I do this man's going to respond in this way, but my desired outcome is X, Y, Z.
Like I said, just get in the party. Sometimes just get in the party and figure out everything else from over there, because your method of getting in is not going to be the way in which you... Like, I climbed through the back window to get in the party. I'm not going to now just do a bag. That's why you got this ankle now. Exactly.
Do you know what I'm really interested about though? I don't really know how to formulate this question so much, but it's like how somebody was able to work out that our endorphins go so crazy for this one particular thing, and then was able to make such a big business out of it. Do you get what I mean?
I know what you
because
mean.
ultimately it's like we have a certain natural makeup here, but the reality is there are certain things that are going to be triggers for us, which contribute to how society moves in a certain way when people figure them out. So now, see that example that you use, like with rap or whatever, where things become overly sexualized.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that someone a long time ago worked out that our endorphins go so mad for this.
Yeah.
So now we're just gonna keep pumping that. And then go on.
Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say because arousal encourages us to spend more money. So I used to work there's a strip club called Platinum Lace in Leicester Square. So I used to dance there back in like, oh my God, a few years ago.
Serious?
Yeah.
I would have gone, fam.
No, my worst nightmare was...
One baby
my worst
Imagine.
nightmare was someone that I know coming in because it would just be so awkward. Because I'd be like, hey, I haven't seen you in ages. Do you want to see my tits? It would just be too awkward. But what I learned was the two best times to ask a man for something is when he's horny and when he's sorry. Because those are
Who
both...
worked that out though? That's what I want to know.
I mean...
Cleopatra.
What's it, what have you got here, EA? Sorry, EA.
Yeah, like if you're a woman, it's common sense.
No, but you say that, but it couldn't have always. It's common sense today.
Now, but it
it's
wasn't
common
always.
sense today. We
It's
know this
always
today,
been-
but someone had to have worked that out somewhere down the line.
It's low-key always
Not
been
just
that way.
today, though.
Yeah.
No, okay,
It's a natural thing. Like
Yeah.
people have always been having sex, and
Look how men act for pussy versus
Yeah,
how
but
men act.
okay,
it's always
you're
been
you're
like
right. But I think that the reasonings for people having sex probably over the time has changed. It may not necessarily have been just because, oh, you're attractive and I'm horny, let's just have sex. It could, I just don't believe that it could have.
But irrespective of that, what we're talking about is the response after it, or the mindset that you're in because of it.
Yeah.
So if the mindset you're in is a particular space, irrespective of the practice,
Yeah.
then the point is still valid. They're
100%.
saying if you know that after you have sex with this person, they're always extra nice to you. That's just
That's how-
what it is. You know what I'm saying? You don't need any
That's
extra
why
information.
sex work exists. That's why being a dominatrix exists. So what you put up on the screen, Chuckie, says hedonistic psychology suggests that human actions are primarily driven by the desire to experience pleasure and avoid pain. The men that I meet in this lifestyle, a lot of them are escapists and they want to avoid pain, but sometimes their way of avoiding pain is by asking to have a different kind of pain inflicted on them. So sometimes they want me to do you know what ball busting is?
Yeah.
Oh hell no! What's that?
Good.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, I feel like I'm taking away your innocence. Okay, so ball busting is when you kick a man in the nuts
Yeah.
repeatedly.
you kick him.
Yeah.
Yeah, with hard shoe like this. Shoe that has, see that noise? Yeah, there's men that like, they
It's
pay
crazy.
for that. There's men who want to be put in, do you know what chastity is, Poet? Poet is, if you can't.
I don't know what that one is.
So chastity is basically a metal cage for your penis.
Oh yeah, I know that.
So why do you know that, Chuckie?
Because I'm curious. I ain't done it, but I'm
Poet is
curious.
experiencing.
Do you know what I know? I've got a
portal
brethren.
being opened in
I've
his
got a
mind
brethren
right
They're
now.
not
who's in that
available in
dominatrix
Jamaica, you
world
know.
as well. I've got a brethren that's in that dominatrix world as well.
Is it a woman
So
or
I
is it a
remember
man?
it's a guy, but I remember where it first started for him. 'Cause
Oh.
do you know what it was? Yeah, one day he just
Pause before you carry on this story about this guy.
Go on, sorry.
Is he bent over getting smacked and?
No, he usually does a lot of all of that.
Oh, I mean,
But-
Is he a male dom?
Yeah, he's a male dom.
oh.
But where it started for him, he tried the sub thing. So he told me about. Yeah, he told me.
Go on, say it.
Yeah, basically, he told me that one day he's gone to this woman's yard now, and then he was like, yeah, he wanted to just try it out. So anyway, he's gone to her yard, whatever.
Okay.
And then she was really nice, whatever. She said, "Do you want to make a like safe word and that?" This is what I
Yes.
remember from the story.
Yes.
So then they came up with a safe word. I can't remember what he said the safe word was. Anyway, now she said, all right, cool. She wanted him to lay down or something or the other. Then she's come out of the room.
So they've created a scene.
Yes, she's come out of the room. But when she's come back in, the whole thing's changed. The
Yeah,
whole
they're in the
aesthetic.
scene now.
And her, yes, and she's in this complete different mode now. Yeah. So obviously, she's humiliating him. You wood small, you this, that, and whatever else. Yeah. He said, yeah. Then
They
she's
love
standing on
that.
him.
They love being
she's
told that
standing
it's
on him.
small.
But he said he screamed out the safe word when she went to go and get something to stick it in his
So
thing
that's
hole.
called sounding.
Right.
So
Nah, let me see.
so what
Cause
Chuckie
why do
is
you chat to
describing?
people like that, fam? What's going on, fam?
Hold on.
Like, what's going on in your life? Your day-to-day life, 24 hours a day, when you live a good life, and you say, one day, put something at my piss hole. Like, you
no.
see them brothers there? If you know me and you watch this, just gracefully delete my number and we don't have to talk no more. Because you see these
You will
elements
never
of
know who
surprise.
these men are.
Brother, if I find out, I will tell them. We don't talk no more, but it's not a big issue, bro.
But
I
this
just
is why
don't want to
it's a
know.
Secret, poet.
Cause just
This is why no one says
man.
they're in this. There are people that are in your phone book who are into this
Trust
thing.
me.
They will not tell you.
No, I don't mind the crazy stuff, but that's too crazy.
It's nuts.
But it's not you that do
Do you know
it
what it was?
to.
crazy for
Can
you.
I be honest with you, Poe?
Yeah.
When I actually deep it, and I think even in that moment, when he was telling me this, it wasn't a major surprise.
Really?
Based upon just some of the things that he like was saying before and alluding to, and it wasn't a big surprise to me. But what was a bit of a surprise was that I hadn't spoken to him for years, and then randomly he's called me, was chatting or whatever. And then somehow in conversation he was like, oh, because I was like, oh, what you up to or whatever, and he was telling me all the things he was up to, and he's like, oh, by the way, like I'm doing the like I'm a dominatrix, innit? And I was like, what?
Wait, pause. This is what I'm trying to say. I just need to know the mind of this person. You said, by the way. So what was you talking about? Oh, God, I need to go Sainsbury's to get some milk. By the way,
You know
I'm a
what?
dominatrix.
Nah.
Like, how did it go?
Do you know what? Do you know what? I can't remember purely because at that point when he's told me, every part of the conversation before was a
I
bit.
hear you.
Do you get
I
what I'm
hear you.
saying?
I hear you.
I'm like,
I've been
what?
there. I've
Like,
been
what's
there.
going on? So what are you doing?
he
And
black?
it's him and his missus. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's married.
No, they're not married.
What type of black is he? Because that was a hit. Yeah. That wasn't the.
Now, you know what it is?
I'm
I don't
African
wanna-
warrior. If it was a
Yeah.
little bit
So
like
let me
skin.
tell you
You know,
That's
it's
gonna
good.
bust your
Even
mind,
though I'm
though.
telling the story, I could be talking about so many different people. It's just in my head, I know what I'm talking about. So it's like I don't want to say anything.
He's not
that's
dark
gonna-
skin. That's what I've confirmed.
What's
that from the
ironic
conversation.
though about this lifestyle is because there are black men that are in this lifestyle too. But what irritates me about it is that majority of the black male submissives in the UK, they like pandering to white women.
Interesting.
A lot of them, they actually request for these white women to call them.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because our black mum wasn't telling us this type of
You
stuff.
get-
When we went to university and all of that, their white mum was telling their white daughters this and
So
here
the
we
black
go.
But why do you
women-
think that? Why do you think?
So why I think that is because when I've gone to kink events, what's interesting is the only kink events I go to are the ones where the women are the dominatrixes and the men are subs.
Right.
So when I've gone to these kink events, what I notice is that the black men, they enjoy being of service to the white women, but when they see the black women, it's almost like they feel that there's too much familiarity. It reminds me of one time when I had a boyfriend back in like 2017 and I had my natural hair out once, and he said to me that he didn't like it because it reminded him of his sister. And it makes me think there's a link there with these black men who would rather serve and submit to a white woman than do that for a black woman. And for me, the black woman and the other black women in this space who are fellow dominatrixes, it's almost always white men that come to us to be of service to us. But what's interesting about the racial dynamics and the power dynamics that's different is when it's a black man bowing down to a white woman, I find it a little bit side-eye and strange. When it's a white man bowing down to a black woman, that's a starting point for the reparations conversation.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm serious.
I love it.
But
I love it. I love it.
But I wish I could get up. I wish I could get up. Nah, Slum. This is why I love you. Do you know what? As long as I know we're on the same page, we just attack it from different angles. I'm loving that.
I'm
My
out
McDonald's.
here
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I love it.
So part of my main foundational outlook when it comes to dominating men is like when white men are coming to me, it's always going to be about reparations, and it's always going to be about, as long as we have a mutually agreed consensual parameter to work within, I'm going to punish you because I deserve to inflict this on you, and you should consider yourself lucky.
You're doing
that
God's work, man. They
I
don't
really
understand.
feel like
My
low
G.
key.
But then isn't it
Cause you're like Mother Teresa, but like they're not really
But
clocking
kinky,
that.
Mother
But
Teresa
kinky.
in latex.
I swear to God, if Mother Teresa was doing that is what I'm saying. Mother Teresa in latex. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Do you think though that part of that is because of the perception that they believe that black women are strong and tough?
Yes.
And so that's why they lean to that, which is problematic. No?
It's part of it, and it's also because black women are the other. So there's a level of, there's a weird level of fetishization that's unavoidable. So like, even if I wasn't engaging in a kink lifestyle with white men, whether I'm just walking down the street, like people will fetishize me anyway.
Right.
And it's not something that I can control. What I can do is, I'm going to assume you're fetishizing me, so I'm going to fetishize you back for your money, whether you're fetishizing me or not. And I'm going to make you feel as small as I possibly can. And because verbal humiliation is a strength of mine, because I'm well-spoken, oftentimes when I meet white men, that's really where I get to work with, like tearing them to pieces, reminding them that they're insufferable, that...
Can you say something that you said to one of the...
I said to a man the other day that he's never gonna get the validation he wanted from his dad, and that's why he's a loser for the rest of his life.
I gotta get up. Oh my God.
Is there
It's Father's Day on Sunday. What the hell?
Release this episode on Father's Day.
It does.
It does.
Happy Father's Day, I guess.
That's the time. Happy birthday.
That is the
Yeah.
clip for Father's Day. That is amazing. Sorry, Chuckie.
But they get some type of release from that somewhere.
Yeah,
somewhere
but-
in that exchange.
Yeah, what they enjoy is, it's like a level of intellectual sadism. Like they really enjoy the idea of a black woman just making them feel small because they see black women as superior to them, and it validates how they see black women. They also love the idea. It's okay.
I love that cast. Was it tailor made for that person? Did you get a bit of energy that might be the case and said, "Let me attack me"?
I think it comes from understanding male psychology and understanding how men's relationships with their fathers affects how they navigate their manhood and how they interact with women and what they seek out of partnership. Because just like how women are seeking love, men are seeking love too, but where there's a gaping hole in a man's life, it often links to the father wound. And when it comes to verbal humiliation, you have to really identify that person's trigger points, and you kind of pick up on it based on what story they tell about themselves and how they talk about themselves. So not all men have a father wound. Some of them, they just have a really small dick and they overcompensate. So you kind of have to aim there and remind them that it's not a reproductive organ, that the only thing that organ produces is disappointment. And then I think when you use verbal humiliation when you use verbal humiliation to tear a man down, I think what it does is that it primes his brain to understand that he now needs your validation, and that's where you can really get to play with the dynamic in terms of making up reasons for them to send you money, making them go on little silly tasks, making them become your bitch essentially.
What did he done to Cassie?
Without, yeah, I mean,
Not like that.
The emotional manipulation to get what you want.
it's not a consensual. Well,
Yeah.
when I'm engaging with these men, it's consensual. They come to me
They come to you.
and they have to pay £100 to introduce themselves to me.
Yeah, the scenarios are different.
You're a real
But I
life.
think-
I'm serious.
My G, you know. Chat to them properly, man. £100 just to chat to me. Before anything's even happened, here's £100.
Yeah, and then they have to pay a separate £100 to apply to serve me. So what that means is
What?
I have an application form that they have to fill out where they fill out obviously their name, their age, their phone number, if they have any medical conditions that I should be aware of. And then they tell me how they want to be of service to me. It's not about me fulfilling their kink, it's about them understanding what my kinks are, what my hard limits are, and them fitting into that. And then they have to tell me why they believe that they deserve to serve me. And then I ask them to tick if they've paid the £100 application fee. And I always make it clear that doesn't guarantee that I'll select them.
Right.
So wait, it's £100 to chat to you.
Yeah.
Then £100 for the application form.
Yeah.
So man have basically passed go before they can even chat to you.
There's men that have
This is mad.
there's men that have done that and still ghosted though. There's men that send me money and ghost me.
And ghost you.
Yes.
Yeah.
None of them are
do you
Jamaican.
think, do you think that's got a lot to? Do you think that's got a lot to do with the fact that like they lean strongly into it, but then when it's time to actually do it, they don't have it in them to actually do it.
Exactly that. It's exactly that. Like a lot of men, it's like when they're turned on and they're in that you call it no thank you. I think you call it subspace when they're in that space when like their brain is like ooh it's happening.
Yeah.
They send the money, they fill out the application form. Then the day comes,
Starts getting real.
They make up an excuse.
Yeah.
They get nervous,
Yeah.
and that's why I create these financial rules where if you're going to approach me you need to pay, because 9 times out of 10 they'll go. It's not because of me but because there's internalized shame.
Yeah.
There's
Internal
nervousness.
conflict. Yeah, for sure.
There's also like when you're horny versus when you're not horny anymore. You're kind of like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I can say goodbye.
Oh
to
yeah, sometimes they're
£100.
feeling like the thing, whatever. Then they go and bust one off, and then they're like,
Then they're
I
like,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Have you seen the new episodes of Black Mirror?
Nah, I haven't, you know.
In one of the episodes of Black Mirror, a guy has to go and do like some humiliation things on some like social media website.
Oh, I saw that, and he
Yeah.
was like, they made him put things up his bum.
Exactly.
They made him wear like silly, yeah.
And then he goes to work, and then one of the youngest guys
got
on the set,
exposed.
they had pictures that he beat the shit
That's a
out
lot of
him, but-
men's worst fear. So in this lifestyle, like security and privacy is paramount, because sometimes it's like C-suite men that you're interacting with. So I have something called Proton Mail. It's kind of like Gmail, but Proton Mail basically means that the IP address can't be tracked. It can't be hacked. So when men see that my email address is name of my dominatrix name at protonmail.com, men who are of the lifestyle, they know that they're going to be having a secure interaction with me, so they don't fear their data getting leaked or them being exposed. And exposing men, unless they have a blackmail kink that has been mutually agreed upon, exposing men is not something that's it's very frowned upon to do that. It only puts women in more danger when you do things like that. It's not something that I'm interested in. There are men who I've met rappers who are into feet, they've licked my feet, and no one's gonna know because
rappers are out here licking feet and trying to tell me they're gonna kill someone the next day. Go take the cheese out your tongue.
But
they like feet because some of them, when I ask them like what got you into feet, some of them say things like when their auntie when they were younger they used to sit by their auntie and she'll be on the phone and she would just be twirling her feet, and they just used to just watch her twirl her feet, and then they grew up with a fondness for feet. I hear some very interesting stories. Or when I ask men why
But there's a rapper out here that wanted his auntie's feet to be ice cream, so much so that when he got older, he pretended you were his auntie's feet.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that's happened. And there's also, when I ask men, like, why are you into being submissive? Why do you like dominant women? They say, a lot of them say a similar thing where they were on the playground at like 5-6 years old. The girls would like push them over and they secretly loved it.
Right.
Like, they from early, they know they were into it, but a lot of men, they repress it until later in their life where they feel maybe more financially comfortable to indulge in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Or they see, because now there's a lot more women than now, more than ever, who are in the lifestyle now. You can go on Twitter, and if you're on a certain side of Twitter, it's all you'll be seeing on your FYP. And they now feel comfortable to explore those curiosities. Like, and it's such a wide span of the fetish, from, like I said, ball busting, chastity. So chastity is one of my favorite ones because it puts the man in a psychological headspace where he is purely there to serve you, because he can't physically have a full-on hard-on, but he's mentally having a hard-on.
Right.
So he basically just becomes your bitch. And
Wait. He's getting hard, but it can't move.
yeah, because it's in a cage.
It's in a cage.
So
yeah.
it's engorged, but it's like
Yeah.
trapped. So you
want a
can do. On the big screen, don't kill me.
Fling a picture up. Don't put
What?
don't put it on the.
What?
YouTube,
Nah, man. I don't need to see the picture.
And then you can torture them.
Why are you putting a aged penis on the screen?
It's so for your education.
Edge what? Me have imagination. Man, I need education. That. Nah, man. We're going too wild with it.
So that's what the device looks like.
That's what the device looks
Alright,
like.
the device.
And the woman, so if you're ever on the train and you see a woman wearing a key around
That
her
is
neck,
crazy.
if you're ever on the train and you see a woman wearing a key around her neck, not the cute little fun charms, a key, she's got someone in chastity. She's a dominatrix. That's how you can tell.
What, locally or just somewhere about the place?
Sometimes
Like,
you can
here?
have a man in chastity and he's in a different country, so he will mail you the key,
right.
and you basically go on like maybe you could do a 1 week.
Different country,
Yes.
and she's got the key for the thing now.
Yes.
And he ain't got it.
He ain't got
Oh
it.
my god.
So
Oh my
it's
God.
it's exploring different levels of trust, risk taking. Most times though, like they probably do have the keys, like because there's
Yeah.
two keys,
Yeah.
but they're not permitted to take it off.
Right.
That's part of the kink. That's part of the play. So then you can do things to them like torture them by having them in chastity and like putting, you know, those Hitachi wand vibrator things that are just really, really excessively vibrating. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. What
You
one?
guys are so innocent.
What
So
one?
it's called a Hitachi wand.
Is it?
and-
What does it do?
It's a vibrator that has. I'm gonna get
Pull it
the
on the
image
thing.
up. You've probably seen it before. That.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
So when the man is in chastity, to kind
A
of like.
microphone.
It does look like one, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it?
Definitely
So when the man is in chastity, what you would do to torture him is overstimulation. So basically, you turn the wand up to like a high vibration,
Wow.
because that wand you're looking at is extreme power. Like you plug it into the mains,
Right.
and then while he's in the cage, you would like touch it on him, and so
That's
he would-
crazy.
it's called a ruined orgasm. So like he would nut, but like against his will.
Yeah, that's
and it's
nuts,
not a nice
literally.
feeling. It's
Yeah, 'cause
nice,
you know
but it's
what?
not nice.
Yeah, anyway, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say that. But yeah, that I can't unsee a microphone now. By the way, but that's insane. What's the trade-off? You see, when
Good
you
question.
said that, like, right now, there's a lot more women in particular that have got into this world, or a lot more people that have got into this world. Is there a trade-off?
Yeah,
What is it?
money. And also feeling powerful, but it has to be an informed power, and you have to really have discernment, because it can be unsafe. Whether you're dating in a vanilla way or exploring kink with men, men are the reason why the world is unsafe for women. But especially when you're engaging with them in a lifestyle where they're very, very secretive for reasons to protect this private lifestyle that they feel some level of shame about. Sometimes when men act out of fear of shame, they kill women or they're aggressive towards women. So yes, you can make a lot of money in it, but this can't be something you do as a way to get out of a bad situation, a get rich quick scheme. If a woman wants to go into any kind of sex work, I wouldn't recommend FinDom, financial domination, or Femdom, female domination. I would just say just go to a strip club, because at least, even though it might be hard, you'll have hard nights and better nights than others. You're working in a building, there's CCTV, like there's staff. You're at least a little bit more protected than if you're in a desperate situation, a man offers you money to go and do a cash meet. So a cash meet is where you meet a man at an ATM and he takes out money and gives it to you. But if this man is an unsafe man, you don't know what could happen to you if you haven't vetted him properly. So usually before a cash meet, you're supposed to collect their ID. Like, I don't see any men who don't give me ID. I don't see any men who say they have no limits. Like, you need to have limits. I don't offer any sexual services. I'm not interested in trying to collect them all like Pokemon. Like, for me, it's about quality and long-term servitude. So a lot of men, they do something really small and I block them, and then to unblock, it's like minimum £500. And there's one guy at the moment, he's in an installment, so he's paid the first 100. Whenever he's ready to pay the remaining 400.
That's Klarna in it.
All right,
That's
Klarna.
crazy.
That's Klarna.
You can't Klarna it, for real.
Klarna
Klarna's
in
gone down,
an
innit?
unblock.
Klarna's gone down because people
Klarna's
haven't
gone
been paying Klarna
Imagine
back.
Klarna in an unblock.
The irony. But even outside of kink, I do this to men in my vanilla dating life, and this goes back to what I was saying about I don't date normally anymore, because when men upset me, I'm like, you know what, I'm upset that you've upset me, but there's an evil smirk because now I'm going to make some money off this, because you have to say sorry in pounds. I'm not accepting sorry in just words.
Strong.
If that's why I don't date men who can't pay for the apology later down the line, because I always anticipate.
How much is the apology? What's the biggest apology you got?
So recently.
Yeah, I know, because it weren't.
The
100.
more recent.
It wasn't 100. Yeah.
The more recent one was 2,500.
Klarna or?
Yeah, but he'd spent more when we were in good terms.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing because. Yeah, carry on.
No. Go on.
Say it.
Go on. What was that?
This is a safe
What do you mean?
space.
What was that bit?
No, I was just saying, innit?
What, you saying personally you wouldn't do it?
No, he's done it. He's done it.
Yeah, but
He's
it's
done
because
it.
you value your relationship with that person. This isn't even kink or fetish. This is more about how badly are you sorry? Because I need a man to show me how badly he wants it.
Right.
Yeah,
me
like,
in the trenches.
don't mind Chuckie, don't worry.
I'm here
My
to
thing
support
is,
it still.
how bad do you want it? Whether that's horniness, whether that's apology, how bad do you want it? And I need to see how bad a man wants it. Like I said, whether he's aroused or whether he's apologetic.
Don't get no ideas, you know.
This is why men hate when women listen to my podcast, though, because their biggest fear is women listening to my stuff and getting ideas. Because once that woman gets ideas, it's more expensive for him. That's why it's like.
But sometimes, yeah, because I think the way in which you live, I love it anyway. I'll be watching you. I love it. But sometimes these ideas are given to the wrong people. Like, certain girls wouldn't have to have this attitude with me. Like, you wouldn't. If I saw all of this, I'd be like, "You're not SLUMFLOWER." Like, I get why she does it, and I love her for it, but you're not even a flower, big man. What are you doing? Like, don't do this.
Yeah, it's that thing of like, I don't believe you. I believe you.
I believe you.
But I don't
That's
believe you.
100%.
It's because it's performative, and that's why a lot of things I say to women as well is men can tell when it's performative. Like, this has to be a framework that's embedded within you, and it won't sound the same as the way I say it. But you have to have your non-negotiables as a woman.
Just like in you.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new
And you
You?
can tell. You can just tell.
I've not seen the 5th season.
No, I haven't seen it. I heard it's alright though.
Hey, in the 7th or 8th episode, yeah, something happens, and then the guy goes, "That's not you. He knew who she was." And you're right.
Yeah,
you can't be
men can
performative.
tell.
The woman tried to be performative and do something. The guy was like, "No, wait, get off me. You're Maddie." He said, "No, I'm not." I was like, "Oh my God, how did he know?"
Men can tell. Like, my thing is, look, you know how I know men can tell? Like, just like how I can tell when a man is submissive without him saying it. Sometimes, like, I check in summer, like, it's the season now, right? So I'm not saying all foot men are submissive, but there's usually a little like pipeline. So if I'm on the train and it's sandal season, I've got my sandals out, and if I notice that a man sat opposite me, we've made eye contact, and then I notice he looks at my feet, and then we kind of make eye contact again, I'll deliberately make eye contact with him, hold it a little bit longer, look at my feet, look at him. If he blushes, then I found one.
Right. I hear it loudly.
Right.
Yeah. Because that
You know
means.
so
Do you
mad.
know what that means? Do you know what that means? I know what you're on.
Yeah, but it's
and
a
I know what
non-verbal.
Right. Exactly.
But what I'm saying to you is like, imagine I might have been on the carriage and this has happened and I don't even know. Like,
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
it's
that's
almost
it,
a silent
that's
interaction.
incredible.
Yeah.
But also what we were saying about men can tell when you're not genuinely about it. So on the most, for me, from the absolute initial interaction with a man, I'm setting the tone. So if I'm in a motive and a man comes up to me and he asks me my name, I say to him, maybe I'll tell you my name after you buy me a drink. Like, from the onset. So if you're
You've
not...
done that at the Vibber party.
Who?
You did.
Wait, is this what this is about?
No, but
No, but like, that
is
actually,
real.
he saw that happen.
This is
Okay.
real.
It was two guys off...
Listen, you had loads of people coming up to me like, "Who's that?" It was getting on my nerves at one point. But go on.
But the reason why I do that is because I'm not in a I need to quickly find out, like, are you about to be one of those guys who's not even gonna buy me a drink, because my time is worth the drink I asked for, and if you don't want me to have a good time, then I'm not gonna speak to you. Speaking to me is not free. I'm not saying that speaking to me is worth a £15 picante, but we need to start somewhere. Woo! And also for me, it's like, if you're speaking to me, I imagine that you want to date me. And if you want to date me, then I imagine that you want me to be in your life for a prolonged period of time, which I imagine might allude to marriage. So if you can't afford to date me, then how are you going to afford a wedding? That's kind of where my mind goes. And it starts from that initial interaction. What are you willing to do to impress me? And I'm going to keep on moving the goalposts because I felt like it. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to go, because I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for a man. I just feel like when men come up to me, it's unfortunate for them. Like, you've basically fallen into a Venus flytrap. It's like, don't approach. What have you done?
When was
man?
the last time somebody like actually really impressed you from the get-go?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. This is what I need to know.
This
How
is
do
the
you
thing.
impress you?
There's a difference between me being impressed and then them being able to maintain it though. Because there's a lot of things that men can do to impress women, like especially when I go to Nigeria, that's when men do the most. Because what's interesting is when I go to Nigeria, I get an overwhelming influx of attention from men because I look different because the tattoos and the light skin because colorism. But then in the UK, I'm not saying I don't get attention, but there are a lot of like beautiful women with tattoos, women who look alternative, for lack of a better word. So there's a lot more options for men. But in Nigeria is where men do a lot to get my attention. But the thing is, it's very manic and short-lived on their part because they will do all that to try and get my attention, thinking that I'm going to sleep with them. But if I can hold out for 4 years, I can go another 10 years. Like, I have very, very strong control over my urges. And for me, I've had men send me money or all the fun things when it's party season, like them pulling out all the stops to make sure I have a good time. But
then it doesn't
hold. It takes a lot for a man to impress me for me to actually date him and take him seriously, because it's a long-term investment. I require financial investment from a man, and I don't feel uncomfortable to say, even though we live in a world where it's really frowned upon for a woman to be that upfront. But if it's okay for men to ask women for pussy, I think it's okay for women to ask men for money. Like, the audacity of men to approach you in the street and, they're approaching you because they want to see your tits and they want to finger you. They're not approaching you because they want to know what your opinion is on You season 5.
By the way, can I just say as well, fingering is an amazing thing, but that just sounds mad young.
What?
This is the way that she just said it.
What?
Because he just wants to finger you. I'm like,
but that's what a lot of men, they just want to finger you. It's mainly fingering. Like, they really just want to put their unsanitized hands inside you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not going to lie. This is a bit mad, yeah? But there has been times where I shouldn't really think this, but I'm like, rah. When I see this carpenter and that, I'm saying to myself, big man, I hope that you're washing it.
Do you know what I mean? Splinters.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
You know your hands are the dirtiest part of your body after the end of the day.
Yeah.
Bare paint. Bare paint. And you know what I mean? Get the panani splinters.
I just think a lot of men are too lustful.
Oh my
God.
That's a horrible thought.
But it's
You know what I'm
so real.
saying? Right,
Two reasons to bleed.
I just think men are too lustful, and I like taking advantage of men's lust so that they can learn a lesson. Just like how people say that men should be robbed more often when women come to their houses.
Wait, what's going on?
I heard that one.
So
You know I've been agreeing with you, and then you do this. I'm like, I can't agree with
I'm
this.
not personally advocating for men to be robbed. I've always said about my way is make it known that I want your money. Like, I tell men I want your money. I don't rob them. But what I'm saying is, there's a joke going around online about how men are so keen to invite women to their house on the first meeting with them.
Oh yeah,
Why
in
are
that
we
sense.
not robbing these men to teach them a lesson?
Yeah.
Well,
Stranger danger.
because basically we feel we've made a good choice in that woman, and
Really?
she's a good woman.
Really?
We don't want to get robbed.
But how many times do you see a woman, like, when women are inviting men back to our homes, like, we have to weigh up, is this man going to kill me?
Right, I hear it.
Whereas
yeah.
you guys are like, is she going to suck my dick? Like,
Am I going to get naked?
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Listen, it's 2025. I was born in Tottenham. If you think I'm not thinking, is this gal gonna kill me? You've gone crazy. In my ends, gal are dangerous. So, and gal definitely rob, man. And gal, as much as I'm saying there's definitely dangers. Do you know how many setup chicks
that's
I've
a
seen
thing.
throughout my life
That's
since
a
I was
thing.
young? I've seen man go to a certain spot, think everything's calm. They've come out of the block. I've got a phone call. Welcome. Paul, what's going on, my guy? There is 20 men outside for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
remember-
being
I hear
lustful
it.
Remember
does.
that
Why have you phoned me?
That happened
What am I
to
gonna
me.
do?
That happened. What happened to my brethren?
So
I
I'm
don't know if
saying.
it was that whole story again, but we ended up meeting. He met a girl. I was DJing for an artist at this time. We've done this show. He's met a girl. Then he's asked me, "Do you want to go to the yard?" So I'm like, "Cool, I'll go with him." Innit? Gone there. Basically, cut a long story short, we've gone in the yard, and then there was one don there. And then before you know it now, there's about 10 men outside.
Bro.
And they've all come. Yeah, it was. Let me tell you something. That was probably one of the first times, where I was dealing with real anxiety, because I knew I could sense what this situation was looking like, especially because the guy that I'm with looks like he can do his thing. So they're not going in there on some super bullish thing. They're just going there to assess the whole. Remember, I told you, I don't even smoke. I've gone over to one of the brothers. I'm like, yo, have you got Rizzler? I'm just trying to simmer this whole thing and not show any type of. But in my head, I'm thinking, we need to find a way out of here.
Yeah.
And luckily we did. It was fine. But
And that's a real thing. Even happened to me. I'm a good youth, Youth work bare things. When we were younger, LOS was a prominent thing. If you're from North London or East London, you know about Lords of Stokey, LOS. They travelled in a pack of like 50. Exactly. Come like cigarettes. 50. So I'm saying to myself, this is crazy.
But
then went into her post, went to the girl's house, sorry, the three guys, calm. It's always the girl that comes in the tracksuit, like, oh, where you man from? And I'm like, what's going on? She there, where you man from? And I'm like, what's your problem? She's like, oh, you know LOS, yeah? Yeah, I'm gonna call them. When I heard that, brother, I can't lie to you, fam. I've never been that scared in my life. They come in 50, we're in a 1-bed apartment. There is no way to get out of this. Crazy. Eventually we got out of it, but yeah, gal are, I'm not saying man aren't dangerous because we know.
I know what you're saying.
But some gal outside
need to be more fearful.
But to be fair though, maybe from my own experience anyway, I don't really think that if I'm bringing a girl to my yard or if I'm going to a girl's yard, that I'm going to be in any type of danger. And that might just be because my lust is ruling me a piece. There are times though, naturally, where if I'm out, I might have my watch on or certain things, I might think, let me just make sure that I'm not put in a situation where this goes. But I never fear danger, even though I've been in a situation like that.
That's called male privilege though.
That's 100%.
Not my privilege. I send a WhatsApp location to the people that love me the most when I'm somewhere I'm not meant to be. Love my life.
Keyword is somewhere you're not meant to be. And usually what leads a man where he's not meant to be is lust. Men are too lust driven. That's why they're easy to take advantage of.
Yeah, they are.
But I always...
Shut up. Yes, what was that?
But here's my thing, and this might be a bit of privilege too. I don't ever think that I'm not somewhere I shouldn't be.
Oh God.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's maybe my privilege. I feel like I'm supposed to be.
You feel like you're supposed to be in that girl's bed, like.
Well, like I feel like we've made that. You get what I'm saying?
You build the rapport. You have the discernment, like.
Yeah, so I'm not thinking that when I go there it's smoky or it's this and that.
No,
I'm going there to go and raise a vibration. And that's
my thing is not always lust though. Like I could just be anywhere I'm not meant to be.
You just wanted to hang out.
Yeah, like, one time Vuj got me out of a problem in Ukraine because I wanted to get an ice cream.
Ukraine.
This is what I'm
How
saying.
you end up getting an ice cream and then what did it turn to?
The 3-4 guys that are around the ice cream van, Vuj warned me about them. I'm like, nah, don't watch that. I still went. And then I had to say to them I'm from Jamaica.
It's sick, you know.
But I wanted the ice cream. Ukrainian ice cream.
Was it a girl you're referring to? Like
no, I really wanted the ice cream. There was an ice cream van. I heard the music. I said, that music's lit. And then there was some guys around it like this looking at me weird. I was like, Vuj, you reckon they're alright? He goes, don't get the ice cream, poet. I'm getting the ice cream.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. I did scream as well.
On the other side, quickly as well, yeah. Could you tell me about a time where somebody on your battlefield absolutely fell devastatingly?
Like a man?
Yeah.
When you say fell devastatingly, what do you mean? Like, as in...
I mean,
like,
he could have approached you a certain type of way, but then really it just went horribly wrong.
Yes. I heard the
Which story do I pick from?
Yes, the worst one. Money lost. Potentially got deported.
He said maybe not the worst one.
See, it's against my ethics to get people deported. But if I'm pushed...
I tell you what. Hey, Trump's getting people kicked out of schools because I went to go pick up his ute and ice were there. He said, what?
Okay, there was a guy who... He's a photographer. And we met maybe like 10 years ago. He took a picture of me for some campaign I did. And then in the past year, he's been following me and watching all of my stories. And then he...
So wait, did you talk much throughout the 10 years?
No, not at all.
Oh, wow. So
And then out of nowhere, out of nowhere in the past year, he suddenly taken an interest in my work. And then he messaged me to say that he loves what I'm doing and what my work is about. And then he said, can I ask you a question? I said, ask the question, but make sure it's a good question. Because I hate when men try to, can I ask you a question? So I like to apply pressure and be like, make sure it's a good question. Because that means I'm alluding to there's going to be a consequence if that's a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
And this stupid fool asked me some dumb question talking about, well, I'm a man who understands your work. I like to provide for women and I believe in women being empowered and asking men for what they want. But what if, as a man, I don't have the money right now? I said to him, that question was a waste of my time. And what answer was he expecting me to give him? And then he said that he kind of figured and that he's sorry. And then he said, well, to make up for it, can he do a shoot for me? I feel like he just wanted to ask if he could take a picture of me.
100%.
he just went round.
No, but guys have a tendency to go to raves that say shoes only with trainers and still argue at the front. So we're just that type of person.
It's the same thing, like that metaphor of shoes only. You've pulled up with shoes.
Trainers.
Sorry, trainers only, and you've pulled up with loafers. And then it's like a woman saying, "These are my standards."
Yes.
And the man is unqualified, but he's still there.
Yeah.
Expect the L's you're gonna catch. So this guy, to try and redeem himself, he said he wants to book a shoot with me. I said, okay, fine, because he's a great photographer and he's doing well for himself. I made sure I picked a very expensive look. You know Peerspace? Peerspace is an app where you can find out locations.
Yeah. That's why how I get spaces for the checkout.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So I picked one nice location in Peerspace that is minimum 2 hours booking, and it's like 50 something an hour. And he paid for it. He also said, can I book you a car? And I said yes. Because sometimes when men ask if they can do things for you, they're kind of hoping you say no. I said yes, book the car. Then he said something like...
Right, though. So right.
Then he suggested something like Crawford's or Wheelie, which are... they're kind of like Addison Lee. And the journey was going to be at least an hour plus for me. So I know that he was spending something like 100 on booking that car. Good, spend it. And then we started getting to talking because we still had 2 weeks to go for the shoot. Then it got to my live show coming up. And at this point, we're like maybe a day in of talking, but nothing serious we're talking about. He messages me saying that he really wants to just help me out in any way that I can. Do I need him to buy a bunch of my books? Like, what can he do for me? But I said to him, well, at this point, my live show is tomorrow because I was doing a live show in Leicester Square Theatre, which I sold out, 400 people.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Light work.
Thank you, guys. So... at this point, the live show is tomorrow, and he was asking me what he could do for me. And I said, at this point, I don't really know, because the show is coming up. Even if you order books from me, you can't bend time and bring those books there for me to sell. It's fine. But then I was like, I need to test the waters here, because I'm getting the vibe that he's submissive. And the reason why I got that vibe was because when he booked me the car and told me he booked the car, instead of saying thank you, I said well done. And I noticed that he liked that. Because good boy is normally what I say, but good boy is a little bit too flirty. And it's like, it might be too much too soon if I say good boy.
Right.
But when I said well done, I could tell that the demeanour kind of changed a bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I need to confirm my
Highly
findings.
offended, boy. I hear you.
You be highly offended?
What? I book
Yeah,
your
but
car,
that's
so
because you're
well
not
done.
submissive.
Well, who, cuz? Yeah, what should I make your food? Very well done as well, cuz.
No, but if the woman is flirting with you, she's like, well done, I was really turned on by that. Are you going to be offended?
Never.
Exactly, that's what I
in
thought.
there.
So when I said well done to him, my demeanour kind of changed. I needed to just confirm my findings. So I said to him, a sub that was meant to be appearing on stage for me for my live show just dropped out, which is what happened. And when I said to him that a sub has just dropped out, I also said, so I'm kind of flustered because now I've got to reformat the second portion of the show. And I kind of said it in a way where it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Then he was like, which was very predictable. I knew this was coming, but I wanted to just see if he would say it. Then he was like, well, if no one's going to find out it's me, then I don't mind being the masked sub on stage. And I was like, got you.
Right.
And then from there now, once
What?
yeah. And this is a man who, if you see him, you would never, ever, ever suspect that he's into that. Very polished,
usually the
very
case,
put
though,
together,
isn't it? Yeah.
very nice
They're
looking.
trying to run away from the truth, I know.
So once he said that he's happy to offer himself as a sub and I need to make sure no one finds out, we started having a conversation. He starts opening up to me about how he's always had this kinky lifestyle and this is what he's always been into, but it's rare that he's found someone he can talk about it with in this way. And then when he said that he's going to be part of the show, he quickly ran to Tottenham Court Road to one of the sex shops and bought the
Wow.
there's like a hood, it's like it's kind of like a leather hood,
Right.
something that has like it's like a balaclava but a kinky balaclava,
Yeah.
like a leather balaclava.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So is that looking like them guys in that show?
It's sounding mad that I know everything.
Yeah.
That show where they... What's that damn show my kids were watching? I
If you
have to tell me
type-
which
It's
one.
just a leather. It's like isn't it more like that?
What's that?
Yeah.
So what's happening in
Seal-
Asia again?
Oh,
They
you're
all
talking
go to the
about
house.
the inflatable.
Squid
Squid
Games.
Games.
That's what it looks like, reminds me.
That's
Squid
funny.
Game thing.
Kinky Squid Games though. So he ran
seen
to
it.
go and buy the mask thing, which told me he's serious. Okay. And then he now started talking about how when we do the shoot, that if I need him to do anything, that he's also happy to help me out. Like if I need to use him as a footrest, if I need to make content where he's kissing my feet, because he knows that, because I have a second page where I basically show more of this lifestyle. So like there's videos of men kissing my feet, there's videos of me using men as chairs or like objectifying them. not sexually though, because it's Instagram, but it's known that I'm in this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So he's seen it. So he's like, if you want to make like fetish clips, I'm happy to offer myself. So things were going well. And then it gets to...
melon, fam. But go on. I'm rating your thing, though, not to put down your thing.
I understand.
But he's still a watermelon.
And then he asked me, is there anything else he can do to help? And then he suggested he'll cover my dinner. So he sent me £50. I was like, good boy. But £50 is not discrediting.
No, I'm hearing you.
£50 is not like...
Is that when you said to him, good boy?
I said to him, good boy, when he sent the £50, because now I'm priming him to be more in the mindset of being of service.
Right. And he received that.
Yeah, he liked that I said, instead of me saying thank you for the £50, I just wrote
boy.
received, good boy. It now gets to the morning of the show, and this man bails. And
No!
he's
Oh.
the man who I've made him...
£4,000 for the unblockage now.
So we're starting at £500. So he's paid the first. He's the same guy who's paid the first 100. Then what's going to happen is when he's completed the £500 payment, he owes me Gucci Flora Magnolia perfume in the 100ml
Good.
size, and he's going to have to
Smashing up.
rebook the shoot as well.
Good.
Because he lost out on the money from the location because of his stupidness. Because that offended me when he bailed on the show, and then he didn't ask me how the show went. He disappeared because the show happened, and there was a week till our shoots together. So that whole week, I didn't hear from him. And then, conveniently, the night before the shoot is when I now hear from him again.
Right.
And I didn't like that. So that was grounds for punishment. Because my thing is, when a man goes quiet, you're just giving me room to think about what I'm going to do to you next. Because in that silence, I'm now reviewing the situation. And I'm now thinking, he's either gotten cold feet because he's nervous and shy, or he was in a manic and impulsive place, probably horny as well, and he acted too fast on his horniness, and now he's done.
And he
with
busted one off and then was like,
and
you
now
know
he's
what,
like, I don't do this anymore. That's at the expense of my time. And I know that he fancies me, so to punish him, he's gonna have to pay to come back. And when men pay to come back, it makes them more...
Fix up.
Yeah, it's like they've been given a second chance at life. They're a lot more humble. It's not like they're not gonna do anything wrong again.
Can
but
I
they
just
now
say,
know.
sorry to interrupt you, yeah? I just think, if you're going to be in this world, yeah, bust one off first and then start filling out applications.
That's what
and
women
that.
do.
Because
we handle it first.
what it sounds like is that they're feeling this way and thinking this way and whatever else, and then they're leading towards it, and then maybe they might bust one off and think, you know what, I don't know if I could do it now, I don't know, I'm getting back. Just do that from the get-go then, and then you can work out what's going on.
That's
I'm
like
cu-
you saying that men are led by lust.
You're right, exactly.
They're easy.
So I'm curious.
No,
How did
yes.
the show
Yes.
go though? Like how? Because obviously I'm imagining that was
The
like.
show still went really well because
Did you prepare something in case that was gonna happen? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, this is why I have the mindset I have when it comes to men, because when you anticipate that no matter how trustworthy and transparent a man is in the moment, at some point he's going to let you down.
Mm-hmm.
When you anticipate that he's going to let you down, it's not that you're manifesting bad things to happen. It's that you are not going to be having that feeling of the rug pulled from under you. You're going to be like, well, I was prepared for that to happen. Now, also, that show that I did on 1st of June, that was my third run of the show. I'd already done 2 shows at the end of October. There was one run of the show where I had a sub on stage. The second run of the show, that same sub that was meant to appear for the second run, he bailed. So when that happened to me the first time, I had to reformat it on the spot and kill 30 minutes with something else. So now I've had experience of reformatting the show. So when this particular sub that was meant to be part of the third run of the show, this last one, bailed on me, I already knew that I'm going to do something else. And even when he said yes to being a part of it, because I know what men are like. I was kind of like, if you come, good. If you don't come, still good.
It's okay. Yeah.
So this is the same outlook I have towards men in the more vanilla side of the conversation.
Right.
I know that men are going to disappoint. I know they're going to look at someone else's breast, whether it's online or in person. So for me, I don't get too attached to men.
There's a lot of tits out there though.
There's a lot. Right,
Strongly.
so there's a lot to look at.
And sometimes you didn't even want to look at the tits. It's just
Right,
like,
it's looking
shit.
at you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've gone Tesco's.
Or sometimes
Every
you
little
trip over a
helps.
wire and then you land in someone's pussy.
Every little helps.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So to accommodate for those mishaps, that's why I'm always quick to charge men, and that's why from the onset I don't meddle with men who are broke, because you can't afford the forgiveness, and I'm not about to waste my time with a man who's going to offend me, because all men will offend you anyway, whether they're rich, broke. It's not about rich men are better, it's that they're better for my lifestyle, and I make the most of them when they are sorry and when they're horny. So for me, because I'm aware of men's nature, not saying I can read a man's mind, but I've had enough experience of men in the more extracurricular side of things to know what they're capable of and how they lie, how they can switch up on you, how they can bail on you. I never get attached. Even when things are going well, I'm still like, this is still a man. Things are going well. I'm not going to interfere.
Have you not found yourself in a situation though, where in some way you did find yourself getting a bit attached though? Because surely...
Yes, that was the last time I had sex. That was 4 years ago. Or 5 years ago.
How did that feel? Like when you started to feel how did that feel?
The attachment isn't where you feel the hurt. It's when the person pulls the rug out of nowhere and decides that they're done with it, and you feel. I felt like this is such an icky, embarrassing feeling. Like men make it feel very embarrassing when you like them, and then they suddenly, so you know what I mean? Like they switch out. It's like, oh wow, I thought my discernment was on point here. Like, damn, I got hoodwinked. Ooh.
Did you feel
clown makeup? Here we go.
Did it feel like you lost a bit of control?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes and no, because where I lost the control that I lost was me feeling like I was because when you're a woman dating a man, the control you have is like you have the pussy, you're the prize. Like he's still kind of doting on you and he's still kind of trying to chase you. So that was the control I lost. And 9 times out of 10, when a man out of nowhere just pulls the rug, there's another girl or there's other girls. Like, it's not that complicated. He didn't just sit down, reflect, critically overview his decisions and do a spreadsheet and be like, draw up a little pros and cons list of why he should be with you. More time, it's another woman getting his attention or his ex has come back into the picture. So for me, I felt so blindsided that I was like, this isn't how it's supposed to feel. And I don't want to feel like this again. I don't think as a woman, as beautiful as I am, I should be feeling that way. So now when I navigate my interactions with men, I'm not saying that my approach means that a man is never going to disappoint me. I just told you a story of a man disappointing me. But now the difference is that I come out on top because I charge him for the forgiveness. Like, women become more attractive when they cut you off and they are living their lives and they're organically having a good time. They're organically buff. You can, like we were saying earlier about, you can tell when someone's putting it on or it's not them. Just like how when a woman is going for a breakup, you can tell when she's overcompensating by suddenly partying or like suddenly posting pictures that give the impression she wants attention versus when she's organically just moving on with her life. Men can tell the difference. So when a man sees that I've moved on genuinely and I'm doing well, there is an element of like hating from outside the club. They really want to come in. So they just end up caving and paying the apology fee. But then that doesn't guarantee that things are going to work well with them.
Can I ask you a question then? Because I've been listening to this. I like it. Feels right. But we were talking about people and interactions the other day with the opposite sex, and people think I'm joking. I run loads of jokes, but I genuinely feel in my heart of hearts, when it comes to that department, the reason why it's kind of difficult to overcome that final hurdle with myself is because I use my principles as my guide. So the moment my principles are saying to me, this is not something that aligns with you, it's very easy for me to change the dynamic of the situation just to make it a little bit more lighthearted because you're just not on what I'm on.
Yeah.
So I always try to make sure that I set my intention very clear from the start about how I am. I'm outside, I want to have a good time. And if you want me to be inside, you have to give me justification to go inside. I'm not just about to change everything in my life because I'm outside. So I hear where you're coming from. But the only thing is, I'm outside and I'm open to it.
And you have the right to be outside, by the way.
Do you? But come on, fam. It's a cool time and all of that. But I'm thinking, because of some of the principles that you've installed, do you think you attract a particular type of person when you go outside, which exists, which I definitely believe exists, but I also believe if you changed your approach, could the potential for you to meet a man that you might even think, you know what, I might even go for a little walk in the park and see a duck with you. Is that opened up if you change the approach? Because this approach attracts a particular type of person.
Interesting question.
It is a good question. I think for me, my approach works well for me because I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for a relationship. It would be different if I was looking for love. Like if I was in a place where I really want to be married by the next.
But it's not even for looking for love, because I don't do this because I'm looking for love. I love life. I want to know everything that's going on. So more time, like, let's find out everything, and then we're going to narrow it down to I'm only going to do this to get that, which clearly you've done as well. But there's so much more life to to consume,
I get what
do you
you're
feel
saying.
like you're restricting? Just not even like to
I
have a
am
religious.
No, yeah, what you're saying makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you're asking, do I feel like I'm maybe potentially restricting myself from experiencing a wider spectrum of?
Dope people, because you're a dope person.
But being a dope person means that there needs to be restrictions. Like not everyone, because you're a man, is different, right? Like
Okay,
for me as a
fair
woman,
enough.
not everyone can experience me, and that's on purpose. I don't physically have. If I could physically have men walking around me to protect me from weird men, I would have that.
Oh,
Because
mate.
I don't have that, I need to be
I hear you.
restrictive on my own part. Because a lot of men, why I have to be more restrictive than most women is because the nature of the work I do means that I attract men who want to be able to say, that Slumflower girl who talks all that shit, all that
Very true.
strong,
Very
hard
true.
body talk.
Very true.
No,
I hear
I
you.
smashed her.
Yeah,
Like
I
they
hear
kind
that.
of want to
have that one on there, because men like, and I'll be real, men do like, they treat women like Premier League trophies. Like, yeah, I got 13 on the bounce, or they want to know that they've won a
Yeah.
couple of medals. They don't. That's the objective. So yeah, you're right. I definitely.
So
agree
that's
with that.
why my guard is very up, and people love to. I think a lot of people, again, another thing that they try to do to catch me out is to ask questions like, "But behind all this hard exterior, I'm sure there's a soft." It's like, well, that's the same reason why your skull is hard, because your brain is soft. Your brain needs to be protected by your
Yeah,
skull.
for real.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
true.
for real.
People
true,
who
so-
have a lot of value to offer need to protect it. I can't imagine just allowing myself to be touched by all these fruit flies / men. Like, I need to protect.
Yes. No, I'm with it. Because you know what? I'll say it now, because we've avoided it for
Oh
a
yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah. Go on. Yeah. So what was this one?
What? Avoided what?
Yeah, because when you came in, there was that whole thing about how you two met or something.
See, you're very easy.
I wasn't gonna forget that.
Oh, no, you're not. So
You
basically,
tell the story.
I'll tell it from my perspective and then I'll get told off. But I'm comfortable with it. Because
Okay.
I was very dismissive back in the day on Twitter. So if something wasn't for me, I didn't even take time to involve myself in it. And I didn't have much an opinion.
Really?
And I'll just, yes, I'm sorry. Chuckie, you've known me for years. I know. Within that dismissive phase,
Yes.
someone presented me Slumflower. I simply said, what's it about? I said, I'm not interested, and I didn't care. So if you ever presented it to me, I'm like, I don't care about that, man. You know, I cussing, man, them, let her do it, man. I don't give a shit. But you could perceive it as disrespectful, and because of my whatever nature, when it was brought up on Gasworks by Alhan, because of all of the information I have and how dismissive I am, I didn't even care. I was like, yeah, man, say what you want. It was no thought outside of that. Until we move forward. And then I'm like, I like Sunflower. Wait, why? Then I watched the Gasworks episode. I'm like, why did I do that? This doesn't make sense. I just done that. And I've been watching Slumflower's clips now on my Instagram for 4 months. And she don't even know. And now I'm like, now I've been informed. That doesn't make sense. I'm like, I gotta apologize. I have to, because if I just start cropping up like, yeah, I love Slumflower, it just looks
Looks
weird.
mad,
Because
yeah,
we
yeah.
sat down and Alhan said something. I didn't go against it, but I kind of entertained it, I guess. And it would have fed in any narrative or stereotype that was about Slumflower. And I don't even know what type of impact that had on her. So I'm like, I really like this girl. I have to apologize.
Then you shared one of my reels and I DM'd you and I was like,
oh, that's
remember,
another thing.
I confronted you.
Yeah, of course, because another
Okay.
thing, actually, to be honest with you, is I didn't again, I'm so dismissive, I didn't really think about it. I'm lying to you, I didn't really think about it. But one of the things, TJ kept saying, Slumflower's so cool.
Who's
And
TJ?
he's from Vibba. So he was like, Slumflower just shared this. So everyone in Vibba is just loving Slumflower.
And remember, I used to dance because I pole dance as well.
Brother.
So sometimes, and I didn't know you was in Vibba, and I said that.
Yeah,
to
he
you
said,
when
if
I
I
was
knew all
like,
of them. So that was it. That was what so this is what it was, yeah? You're right. This is what it was. We released a song called Porn Star on the
Yeah.
project that you're speaking
Yeah,
on
yeah,
for
yeah.
Vil. And then I just, obviously you go into it sometimes, see who shared it. I'm seeing Slumflower moving like she's in Miami. I see a big pole and she's coming down. I say, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
So basically, when I pole dance and I post it on my stories,
Right.
if I use someone's music, I tag them, but like I drag the tag off the screen so they still get a notification.
Right.
And if they want to share it, they can share it. So there's a few Vibba songs in my pole dance playlist. So sometimes if it comes on and that's the song that I'm dancing to, I'll just post it. It's not like I'm trying to. And I didn't know you was in Vibba.
100%.
So then when I had that conversation with Poet and I said to him that if I had known that you was in Vibba, I wouldn't have even been posting that. Because at that point, when he shared my video, that was my first time seeing his name pop up in like years.
Years, right.
And I was like, you're the same guy who we used to have this weird thing going on Twitter, or I used to see that you didn't like me from Twitter impression, like just from my impression of Twitter and that whole Gasworks thing. you obviously explained and clarified.
Yeah.
But my impression of you was fuck this guy. Now you're sharing my stuff, but back in the day,
Yeah. I
you
ain't
need to
forgot.
explain your findings. Yeah, like you can't
Yeah.
just. You need to explain how you got here. And then I was surprised that
You
you
need
were
to
actually
explain
very,
your
very polite
findings.
and understanding. Because I thought that you were going to be combative.
No,
Because I would have given it back to you, but obviously I don't want to
live.
fight with you. But you know,
No, I just when I'm in the wrong, I get this feeling where I feel cold. So if I know I'm wrong, I'm just like, for a week to do whatever you want. I'm not here to. If
Yeah.
I know I feel like this, I don't even have the level of confidence or assurity to say anything to combat you, because in myself I know I'm wrong. So I'd rather
yeah.
just live in
That's
that
why
moment.
I lowered my guard and I was like, okay, fine, I'll spare you.
Yeah, when you're
I did get spared. I won't lie to you.
Now, especially when you're conflicted as well, I can see that, because sometimes you might stand on something and afterwards you're kind of like, in thought, I don't know, and so
Yeah.
then in that you're
Yeah.
like, the perception might be that he would still double down or whatever else, but Poe is actually not like that at all.
I'm not
Enough times we
like
sit and
that.
we might have a private conversation on the phone. I'll be like, bro, and then you're like, so you can see that you're like, you was already conflicted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're
Because
like,
I was
yeah,
even
nah,
saying to
but-
Poet that I don't even know if you'd want to have me on. Because
And I said to
What?
you,
That's-
Chuckie's
I've never had
the
a conversation
coolest.
with you, and I
Fam.
used to see back in the day you be fraternizing with them people that be talking shit about me. Because my thing is, right, I don't necessarily.
Ah, you Chuckie, Frappuccino.
Fraternising.
Yeah, fraternizing or
Fraternizing.
fraternizer.
So fraternizing means like mingling with, hanging around with. So
It sounds
because
like
I've
a-
experienced so much of it online. Half the things people have said, I don't remember it, but I remember their face, their profile pictures, their
Right.
faces from when they're in the likes, being shady, or when they've been quote tweeting. I remember all of it. Because when you're the person that's having all of these pylons, you're watching it happen. So you're observing the people who are on the side of whatever that's being said. And back in the day, back in like that 2015, 2016, 2017 era when the block was really hot on Twitter, like back then there was no etiquette on how to navigate social media and speak to people. Anything flew. Like people were just making horrible jokes or piling on people. I never saw you necessarily say anything, but I just knew from
there.
I knew from the people that are amongst your group, not even group, but there's people that you were again fraternizing amongst, that I just know that I'm not going to be your cup of tea, and that's fine. Like I don't.
Slum, can I say
That's
one
not-
thing?
that's
Yeah,
definitely
that's
not-
definitely
that's
not true. I know
definitely
Chuckie.
I mean,
too
now
well.
I know it's not true,
yeah.
but that was
But-
the impression I had.
Yeah, no,
when
I want to
saw
say this
it.
though, because everyone always speaks about this, and I just want to, from the perspective of, I can only speak for, I can't speak for Chuckie, but me and Chuckie very close, so I know we have a similar thought process. This whole industry talk needs to stop. It's very annoying. It's very, I hate it. I had a conversation with Fee Gonzalez the other day, and I had to really just tell him, shut up, stop your bullshit. Like, you're really amazing, but all I hear is excuses. And people try and weaponize this thing and have a perception of it as if to say, because it's like this, man can't interact with it. So I hear where you're not to say that's your full
No, I know
mentality,
what you're saying,
but I know a lot of
though.
people will look at Chuckie amongst a group of things,
And
not
think
like
something
four
of him.
things out, and then think it's Chuckie. Chuckie's got his
Yeah.
own story, his own thing. So like, what I mean in a nutshell, when people are not, they don't feel like they're a part of this thing, and then they go industry, and then they go, now I'm in the industry. My nigga, you didn't do nothing apart from post a couple of fucking Instagram posts. Like, you have not changed your life. So this whole thing here, we've got to stop it. It's just got to be, we are all operating, whether you have just uploaded your first YouTube video today or you've uploaded your 1,500 video, we're all in the same playing field. And the more we realize that we're actually together, that discrepancies don't happen. Do you know where I'm coming from? Because if I know me and you in the same playing field, it's like, bro, you know my struggles. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But the moment I'm part of the industry, it's like, wait till I get over there, and then you get over there and you're like, wait, I was always there.
Yeah,
and
right.
I wasn't even have to get over there. Like,
Yeah.
I could have had this conversation time ago. I've made this thing in my mind, and all of a sudden, a couple of other people have said it, and then we know all it, fam. Any religion starts off with a belief, you know? You tell enough people this is what it is, all of a sudden that exists. But in terms of the industry,
Like, guess what? Like, monogamy. But anyway, so listen though, I'd love you to come back again so we could just chat about normal stuff. But I just wanted to get these. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to do this because I thought we needed.
Yeah, I'm glad
to.
we did this.
Wait.
Hey, by the way, did
normal
you see
stuff,
the Don? Huh?
what's normal stuff?
No, this was normal stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just joking. I'm saying it in jest. Did you see the Don that that plane crashed. You see the plane crash, and then one Don managed to come out of that.
One man.
One man.
Did he jump out whilst it was going to
I
crash?
don't know. Can you get it on
I'm
the screen
seeing
quickly?
misinformation about him
changed
jumping.
seats because someone didn't book that seat, so he changed over to a window seat.
Yeah. When the fire exit
that
was.
closer to the exit, but his brother was on the plane as well.
Oh,
Everyone
man.
died on the plane.
That's crazy. And could you imagine the level of like survivor's guilt that you get from something like that? Like,
I
yeah,
thought about that, yeah.
you survive, but then you think like, why me? My brother died. Everyone died.
Yeah.
Like, then you probably remember the people that were on the plane happy to take off. All of that type of stuff. Like, that's a lot. Like, you have to go through a lot of some type of therapy to get through that type of survivor's guilt.
If I can't even take it from the perspective of looking at our home and I'm seeing loads of couples about to take, they're all chatting and there's bare couples like, we just come here on a wellness retreat and all of this and now they're gone. It's just like, rah, that says 1 day ago. Like, you was here 1 day ago.
But that weren't, what's this here, EA, you're showing?
So it says footage filmed shortly after the crash showed Ramesh bloodied and limping as he walked to an ambulance. Police said he'd been sitting in an emergency exit room and had managed to jump out.
Oh my god! So maybe he jumped out when it crash landed. Maybe.
So he was sitting here.
Do you know how mad that is? How we actually managed to get out of that? That's crazy.
There was a car crash in our industries. There was a car crash, I remember, from 4 models.
I remember that.
I remember, and I used to go to Cork's Wine Bar all the time, so I would always see
On
them
the
come
motorway?
on the motorway,
Yeah.
bro. And it was 4 girls that are very much involved in the creative arts field that we're doing, but I think they were a model perspective. Then they had a car crash, bro, and only one of them survived. And if you saw her whole vibe change from what it was prior to what it was afterwards when it happened, bruv, I used to feel so like sorry. I used to be like, raw, like, how do you feel knowing you had a car accident with your 3 dons and they're no longer here and you're just here for the rest of your life? Like, you probably had so many dreams and aspirations of things you were gonna do, and like, they're gone.
Yeah, survivor's guilt is a mad concept, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
Because it's like, in this situation here, obviously he's... By the way, this weren't no idiot plane, by the way.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, like,
it was.
sometimes these things happen. Now, you know, like, sometimes these things happen
Yeah,
in
like a
certain
drunk
planes, and you're like,
pilot
yeah,
or-
this, you know what? It's not that surprising.
Yeah.
That's
was
this
headed
is like
to London.
one of the... this is a proper plane.
flight.
Yeah, Boeing.
Yeah.
787.
Again, Boeing.
Boeing. Their stock is.
And
Oh,
also, look how many
shit.
plane crashes have happened in the
I've got
past year.
I've got BA stocks anyway, but I don't know.
In the past year, look how many more plane crashes we're seeing. I remember when we was all kids and like plane crash would be like a big thing because you only hear about it once every like 2 years or once a year at most. But now, like, how many have we had in the past year?
We're overexposed though. Like, when I've done some bit of
True.
research, there was bare things happening back in the day, but they didn't want to tell no one. Whereas now,
Yeah.
a nigga can just film it and you'll find out 1 second later because you follow him on TikTok.
Yeah.
It is.
But
Yeah.
it's so funny, but not funny. It's so unsettling for me to even say out loud that despite the overexposure we have to news about plane crashes, I still don't have a fear of flying.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's still rare,
No,
bro.
my thing is mad. I'm going to be completely honest. Mine is pure arrogance. I'm
it's
sitting
just
on the
not gonna
plane.
be you.
In my head, there's something in my mind that says, of course, a plane can crash.
But this
But in
is
my
what
head,
you're
I'm
wrong.
saying, there's X amount of planes in the sky. It can't be mine.
Of course not.
But the thing is, it's got to be somebody's.
but just not yours, Chuckie.
Do you know what my thought process is? I sat down at home. I phoned my mates and said we're gonna go abroad. We paid for our ticket. We got a cab to the airport. We had breakfast and we got on the flight. And now I want to start thinking about plane crash. Big man, forget it. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's just go for it.
So what helped me to overcome that fear was I got into a period where I just became so interested in researching, you know, them YouTube videos where it'll be like, here's how flight 414 to Prague crashed in 1994.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they play this audio from the black box. Like,
Yeah, from the
I
black box,
became
yeah.
interested in it. Like, this is what, and then what happened? What? The second pilot? What? The gearbox? Oh no, the altitude went to 319. Oh, like, so because I became fascinated by it, I watched so many. It helped me to stop being scared of plane crashes because it's like,
You're educated on what's
yeah,
going
like
on.
a plane
yeah.
is not just gonna drop.
Nah.
And when turbulence happens, it's not because it's gonna crash. It's
Oh, that's the safest place.
That's another thing.
It's 'cause
Like,
you're in a
turbulence,
jelly.
when turbulence
Yeah.
is mad, I just think, yeah, it's all right. Like, obviously, it's a bit mad, but it's gonna like
It will
we're gonna bust
pass.
case. Yeah.
No. What type of turbulence have you been in though?
Huh?
I've been in turbulence
so
on the way
many
from LA.
turbulence.
It was me, Mitch, my boy Weez. We're coming from 2016.
Yeah.
It was so
I
bad.
remember you said about
You know
that.
The
It's
things
dropping.
came out. Everything, all the luggage came out. The women were panicking.
That's normal.
But
That
because
would scare me
it
in
was
LA.
it's not normal. I've been to LA loads of times. I've only had that once. It's never happened again. It genuinely was so bad. I had to laugh. I had to just laugh.
Because what else are you gonna do? You're gonna have a psychotic outbreak.
Brother, amongst everything happening, Mitch is like this. He took a Xanax. He was out praying. He took.
I was still sleeping.
But he was sleeping through all the madness, and I couldn't stop laughing because it's like, imagine a film scene where you're seeing one thing and there's things walking past, there's things coming down.
Yeah.
And
But
he's
you're
just
only
like,
focused. So what I feel fear about is I weirdly feel safer on a big. You see those big Boeings, like where it's like big plane, as opposed to a really small plane. I feel like isn't that just gonna get whacked out of the sky by a little bit of wind?
Yeah.
Like I fear I'm not going to private jet
or a
before,
bird
I
could
fear
just
private jet.
smash up the wing on it.
I'm
or
scared of
something.
private jets because they're so small. It's
But
like a
they
little
can,
a little
glide
double
down,
decker.
Yeah.
Actually, like a bird.
Yeah,
they
do you know
can
what? I
glide
feel the
down
same.
because they're so light. But like a Boeing, if the engine
No, it's so
fails,
heavy.
Yeah, they have the engine fails.
oh, is
Mad.
it? It's
you're
like
just dropping
that.
out the sky.
Yeah. It's true.
That's mad.
But see, what she's saying about private jets is true still, because a lot of the time people are flying on like really small private jets,
little
maybe
bus.
7 seats and that, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're in this big old sky.
wind.
Brother.
Yeah.
Big.
High and going fast.
Ask Vuj
Yes,
about the
mad.
flight
And Leo
from.
on a private jet singer.
Yeah.
It
Leah
scares
is mad.
me.
Is there anything else going on in the world, by the way? I did not see any.
Yes,
What?
Daneo dropped a bounce remake.
big up
yeah,
Daneo.
and I love it, man. So shout out Daneo, $500,000 in 2 weeks. You gotta give little credit for that. What's happened? Little Sims, she done a dope celebration the other day. It was in West London. It was around here. It was around here. She performing on top of her car. I see
didn't
bare
see
people
that.
there. I see Leah Abbott and bare people. So shout out her new release and what she's doing. What else am I gotta pay attention to?
You see the Robbie Williams and
Yeah,
and,
man.
Bizzle, Scorch.
And can we say his name again? Yes, we can.
Wiley.
We never stopped saying it, but some people did. God bless, man.
Not over
So,
here.
Mm-mm.
Not
We
over this
kept
side.
saying it. We kept saying Wiley, man,
Why are people not saying Wiley's name?
because he had some interesting things to say about people that Kanye West also has interesting things to say about.
Yeah,
I'm not
I didn't
gonna
know
say
that was gonna
nothing.
be the reason.
Because I love my life.
Yeah.
Let me get a little bit more money and then I'll try and help out. But where I am right now, listen, my phone's rung 4 times. It's the same person, Zion.
yeah.
So
My business partner shouting now as well. But just to go back to Daneo, I love how he styled that.
crazy.
Bounce is what? Is it 25 or 20 years? I think it's 25. It's got to be 25.
25.
It's definitely 25.
Bounce is 25 years old.
25 years old. And
Daneo, you're old,
Wait.
fam.
I'm gonna play it. Actually.
If Bounce is 25 years old,
Oh, do you know what I saw the other day? I don't know if you know, but I saw flipping Nasty Jack the other day, and I swear to God, I couldn't believe it. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me just run the rhythm mad quick.
Who's Bounce?
It's this. So this was
I hate you. No, talk to me again.
No!
this song here.
Say something, yeah.
So this song came
I
out.
thought you meant a person.
No.
You said Bounce is 25 years old. I was like, happy birthday, I guess, or what?
Okay, this is the original. Let me play the original. Yeah? Is it a person?
The original's crazy, and the remix is better. Who else have I seen? What else have I been seeing?
Is it even on it? Oh, what did blows and skirt? No.
Just go YouTube.
While
man.
Chuckie pulls up the tune, who's your favourite celebrity you've met so far?
In my whole life.
Yeah, so far though, because you're going to meet more. But
It's not even on there.
That's a fucking good question, isn't it? Because I don't think highly of things that I don't value.
yeah,
I've never really cared. So the celebrity, I understand they have a status of celebrity, but nothing you do interests me. So I don't care. But I acknowledge that you're valued by people and you should be respected because you're a human being anyway. But in terms of your arts and craft, it's just popular. It's just not to my liking. So like a lot of my interactions that I've met, I think the person that made me go, I don't want to say nothing, is Thierry Henry. That's the only man that's
Yeah,
made
I
me
can
go,
imagine that still.
I don't even know what to say. I was like, bruv. But
Wow.
footballers, you meet them, I don't even think, I'm just like, yeah, you're good at football, but outside of that, I don't think you're dope. I just think you're good for 90 minutes. But after that, I don't really, I'm not interested. Whereas there are some musicians, after they drop the song, I'm like, yo.
I actually
still
had a
wanna
good
be-
encounter with Will Smith the other day still.
oh, was
I
it
saw
at
that.
DJ AG?
It was just before he went there. I was pre-recording my One Extra show. What did you say?
I was asking, was it at DJ AG's
Oh,
set that he did? Because Will Smith was there.
yeah, it was. No, it was earlier on in the day. He was at the BBC doing an interview with Remy. And I just saw him after I finished doing my show. I've come out and he was there. And like we had a good little encounter. This is the original Bounce.
What about
by
now?
the
This
way.
is Daneo.
So this came out.
The tune happens to be produced by
This came out the
Vibe back in the
original,
day. Vibe.
he did a 25.
Oh.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh wow, you just
One
mashing
bus
things up.
clock. Okay. Right, there we go.
I can follow my son, so can we?
See it, yeah. So this is it now. Rendition.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the video, he styled a certain
My
way,
new
like he's wearing a
philosophy
lot of
is
old
to-
school stuff, like
When
Marsh
did this
jeans.
rendition come out?
Alright,
Yeah.
cool.
This
2 weeks
guy,
ago.
Oh.
What? Run again, yeah?
Watch him.
Look. Machino off keys and Reebok classics. Avarex jacket classic. With the Nike Air Max matching classic. Iceberg waistcoat fabric classic. Straight jean fashion classic. The 18 van is weight. Will McCoy Richard Blackwood classic. I never had these things. My parents could not afford these things. So I stood back and adored these
The
Things.
video looks so good.
Crazy.
So good.
Shout out Mimi, that's in it. Shout out Ice Cream, that's in it. Yeah, man. I just
Mimi's
like
in it?
Come on, man.
Oh my god, I love that.
Selfish name, but
That's the new video.
He's in the chicken shop in this one.
yeah.
Huh?
Sam's Chicken started supporting him off the back of it.
Oh no.
So sick.
I think it's the next. Yeah, see it there like that. Look. Hey, Danae's always been a dressers, you know. Old school
jacket
style.
classic with the Nike Air Max matching classic. Iceberg waistcoat fabric classic. Straight jean fashion classic. The 18 van is weight. Will McCoy Richard Blackwood classic. I never had these things. My parents could not afford these things. So I stood back and adored these things. Till man turned man and I bought these things. I will never outwear these things. Till 105 men I wear these things. When my son's alive, I'll pass.
Do you know what? Me and him literally had a 2-hour combo today.
Them man jealous, don't let that trivia. It's nothing, them things they trivia. If they act bad,
Ice cream.
We got cream.
They don't have the right criteria, so pay yourself of them bacteria. They move soft like Nivea, no integrity.
Oh, I love that.
Alright. Pull up.
Shout out Mac 10.
Big
Yeah,
up Mac
man.
10. Yeah, man.
Shout out Chips Freestyler Mac 10. Best freestyle out right now. Is there anything else I need to share? I'm still buff. My leg. I had an MRI scan.
You know.
It
What's the
was
result of them?
Oh, did you?
find out tomorrow.
Okay.
£750.
Wow,
Also,
the skirt.
I know NHS pay them.
Yeah, trust me.
Pay them their money, because when they sent me back from the hospital, they told me I was fine. I've just paid £750 for MRI.
Yeah, pay them the money. Don't ask for more tax.
Listen, pay the doctor them. Give them the money. Give NHS the money.
But you know what they'll turn around and say? Yeah,
Go on.
we'll do that. Just to see that money that you're making there, mate.
Yeah.
We're gonna want more money in tax, all right?
Right, mate.
That's what they're gonna do.
No!
So the thing is pay them the money with what we're already giving you.
Do you know that's
because-
not the whole point of
do you get what I'm saying?
taxes?
It's all
Why
mad.
don't they improve the NHS before the World War III? I think it's gonna be a bit more difficult by then. Don't you reckon so?
Men.
Nah?
Mm.
Alright.
Soon, bro.
Coming soon though, yeah, for real.
So,
On
I
Netflix.
appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate
Honestly,
you
every time.
guys. Thank
I
I
you
told
for
you,
time.
Chuckie's
having
amazing.
me.
Huh? I'm off. I'm out of here,
We're
G.
having a meeting, mate.
Huh?
We're having a meeting.
Uh-oh.
Are we? Oh, yeah, briefly. That's quick. Alright, thanks for listening, everyone, yeah? Love.
Yeah.